On day 1, I spawned in as a bald eagle with 10 hearts. I may be a little bald eagle, but I think I can make a big difference. I'd spawned into the middle of the Maple Taiga, but something was wrong. I felt a chill in the air and felt like someone was watching me. I used my eagle wings to fly around the trees, searching for something or someone to talk to, but there was nothing. The whole place was dark and empty until I saw something moving in the shadows. I couldn't quite make out what it was. I just saw its floating face.
You're in the wrong place, boy.
I'm sorry. I'm lost. Can you show me how to get out of here?
There is no out of here, Zozo.
Wait, how do you know my name?
I know more than you'd ever like me to know, little bird. You can fly away, but I'll find you. I'll always find you.
Something was really wrong about all this. I didn't want to say another word to that weird thing. I just turned away and flew as fast as I could off into the Maple Taiga. Whatever happens, I need to stay away from that guy. I think he's bad news. But I had no idea just how dangerous that mysterious thing really was. On day 2, after hours of flying through the trees, I decided to touch down for a rest. I was already hungry when I spawned, but after all that, it was even worse. I searched around the cold, dark forest until I was lucky enough to find some hazelnuts, a perfect healthy snack for an eagle like me. I still feel a little spooked after that encounter with that weird thing in the woods. I'm just glad I got away from it. But just as I said that, I felt a strange prickling sensation on my feathers. I didn't like it, not one bit. So I turned around and looked deep into the taiga behind me, and there it was. I could only just make it out, but it was definitely there, moving towards me. It was the exact same thing I'd seen earlier.
You cannot run, you cannot fly, for soon I'll hold you in my eye. This nightmare will get worse and worse, for my little bird, you are cursed.
Cursed? That doesn't sound good. I'm out of here. But I wasn't out of there. I couldn't move. I was just frozen in place. I couldn't shift a muscle as the sinister figure in the dark floated towards me. Closer and closer and closer and closer until he was almost right in front of me. Help! Help! Somebody help! Moments before the mysterious figure could reach me, he was hit with a fireball. The thing was blown away and screamed into the darkness. And suddenly, I could move again. I turned and ran as fast as I could on my little eagle legs, and I saw who had thrown the fireball at my scary pursuer. It was an old royal guard.
Come with me, little bird. That fire won't keep him down for long.
On day 3, I followed the royal guard. He ran and never stopped running, so all I could do was run after him. Thank you for saving my life. I'm Zozo, by the way. What was that thing?
I am Surge, the royal guard. There's no time to explain. That monster is more dangerous than you'll ever know.
That was a good enough explanation for me at the time. We kept moving, never looking behind us, until we reached the outside of a vast redstone circle cut into the ground. What's with the circle, Surge?
It's a sealing circle, a binding spell that offers protection. This is the only place you'll be safe, and even then, only for a little while.
I was able to slow down and catch my breath when I saw the cabin in the center of the big redstone circle. It looked old and run down, like nobody lived in there.
You must meet the Elder, Zozo. He resides in there. Listen closely to his wisdom. Perhaps it will save you.
But I need answers right now, Surge.
The Elder will have the answers you need. Just be warned that they may not be the answers you seek.
With that mysterious conversation out of the way, I entered the cabin. While it looked dark outside, on the inside it was surprisingly lit and warm. The Elder was standing next to a fireplace.
Welcome, Zozo.
Why do you keep it so bright in here?
When it's this bright, it's easier to see shadows, and that which you saw in the woods is a mighty dark shadow.
What was that thing?
A wraith, a powerful spirit, and I'm sorry to tell you this, little bird, but he cursed you.
What kind of curse?
The 100-day curse. Perhaps the most horrible of all. He and his nightmares will torment you for 100 days before finally doing you in.
Oh no, that sounds awful. Is there anything I could do about this?
There is one advantage to the 100-day curse. If you can break it within those 100 days, you have a chance of saving yourself. But only the strongest can do this.
Outside, the royal guard was walking. Well, guarding the perimeter of the redstone circle. Slowly, the being known as the Wraith approached the edge.
Gone, foul demon. You cannot get him here.
Not yet, but I will. And if you think there's anything you can do to stop my nightmares, then you're the one who's dreaming.
From day 4 to day 5, when it finally felt like the days-long nighttime was letting up, I decided to leave the Elder's camp and look for my own place.
Zozo, let me come with you. I cannot allow an innocent bird to get taken by the Wraith's curse. Please, allow me to defend you with my life.
That's very kind of you, Surge, but why? We barely know each other.
It's because of something bad that happened in my past. I don't like to talk about it. Please, Zozo, let me have this.
Okay then, Surge, let's go. We went deeper into the Maple Taiga until we found a clearing with only a few trees. With Surge's help, I was able to cut down the trees and collect the wood and sticks. I had just enough to make a wooden pickaxe, which I then used to mine some stone and make a stone pickaxe. I was about to make a stone sword when Surge stopped me.
Believe me, Zozo, a stone sword will do no good against what's after you. You'll want to keep your distance, because if the Wraith touches you, it's over.
Then how can I fight back?
Make yourself a bow and arrow instead.
And so I did. I used the sticks and some string I found lying around to make this simple long-range weapon.
Good work, Zozo. Now, I have a gift for you. Take this anvil and this enchanted book of flame. With them, you can give your arrows the fiery punch to ward off evil.
With the anvil and the enchanting book, I was soon able to give myself the exact kind of flaming bow and arrow that Surge had described. Between that and my stone pickaxe, things were looking up already. Until suddenly, both of us felt the chill in the air. We could sense that a certain something was very, very close. Should I shoot the Wraith with my arrow, Surge?
No, Zozo, you're not strong enough yet. You'll be destroyed. For now, we must both hide.
We split up and hid behind different trees. Moments later, the Wraith passed through. I did everything I could to remain quiet, even though I was terrified, until the evil spirit passed on. Phew, that was a close one. That Wraith sure is scary. With that close call out of the way, I used the rest of the wood and stone in my inventory to start building a basic base. One where Surge and I could both stay and keep ourselves safe from the horrors of the Wraith.
Good work, Zozo. I'll perform some spells on the base. Hopefully, that will keep us hidden from the Wraith for a time. But so that you have a little more hope of surviving, allow me to give you some of my power.
The power Surge gave me made me bigger and stronger, with 20 hearts and a piercing deadly shriek.
Can't be an eagle without a shriek, little bird. For now, I must rest. Giving a portion of my power has drained me. Stay safe, Zozo. Above all, stay safe.
From day 6 to day 8, I used my eagle wings to take to the sky and escape the Maple Taiga. I need to find someone who knows something about removing curses, or I'm gonna be helpless against the Wraith. I flew for a while until I saw a different biome, the Canadian Shield, down below me. I swooped down until I heard some commotion. It was a nomad, wielding a dagger and running from a group of scary skeletons. This looks like a job for me. I swooped in and landed in front of the skeleton gang. Lucky for me, they didn't move very fast, so before they could fire on me, I burned their bony butts with a barrage of fire arrows. You mess with the eagle, you get the arrows. After they were taken care of, the nomad approached me.
Thank you, mighty eagle. I came to this forest to hunt Endermen when those skeletons ambushed me. Were it not for your help, I would have perished.
I'm always happy to help. Why are you hunting Endermen out of curiosity? Isn't that dangerous?
It is, stranger, it is. But Endermen took my family away from me, so I will hunt them down until my last breath. For vengeance.
Pretty cool motivation. Say, you wouldn't happen to know anything about curses, would you?
As luck would have it, I do. My mother was a wise woman. Before those monsters took her, she told me much about curses and dark spirits. I will tell you what I know, but only if you help me with something first.
Oh yeah? What do you need help with?
I'll need assistance in slaying the deadly mutant Enderman.
From day 9 to day 10, as an eagle of my word who needed all the info about curses I could get, I followed the nomad, ready to take on the mutant Enderman.
He's in the clearing up ahead. I wish you luck, Zozo. Many have perished trying to do what you're doing.
Sheesh, thanks for that pep talk, nomad. Really fills me with confidence. Despite being afraid, I was still nowhere near as terrified of any mutant Enderman as I was of the Wraith. Then, when I stormed into the clearing, ready to attack, I realized why the nomad was so reluctant to take on this fight himself. The mutant Enderman was massive!
Another challenger. Marvelous. I've got some new techniques I've been meaning to practice.
Here's a new technique for you, being on fire. Eat this! I pulled out my bow and fired as many arrows as I could. But the mutant Enderman hit hard. I tried my best fighting him, but I was suddenly blinded. As he started picking up the blocks around me and throwing them at me, I flew up to get some height advantage, which seemed to work until he started using some magic to pull me down. I didn't stand a chance in hand-to-hand combat when suddenly an explosion blew me high into the sky and almost destroyed me. Uh-oh, time to go. I didn't even have time to try my shriek. I just flew out of there as the blocks were flying behind me. I made it back to the Nomad as fast as I could. Lucky for me, the mutant Enderman didn't follow me anymore.
It's nothing to be ashamed of, Zozo. I've been fighting beasts like that for years, and they still often best me in combat, as much as I'm ashamed to say it.
I know I'm going to be strong enough to fight it someday. In the meantime, want to come back to my base? I'm in a bit of a dangerous situation right now, and I think there's safety in numbers.
I'll come with you, Zozo, and I'll do what I can to help, especially if it involves fighting Endermen.
From day 11 to day 12, myself and the Nomad arrived back at the base. Surge was resting in the chair, recovering from giving me his energy for that earlier power-up. Rest well, Surge. I'm gonna make sure you've got something great to wake up to. The first thing me and Nomad did was to use my remaining wood and stone to construct a bigger base. Here we will have more space with a nice observation tower in case the Wraith comes sneaking up. We even made a nice patio for me to land on. I finished up making a room for the Nomad to stay in. I even left a chest in there for him to store all his daggers. Make yourself at home, Nomad. Nomad took a look around.
You have done me a great kindness, Zozo. In time, I will do you a kindness in return.
I then realized that the base and my inventory were missing a few things. I'm doing all of this with a stone pickaxe. If I upgraded my gear to iron, I could mine twice as fast. I flew through the Maple Taiga until I found a cave that led down into an old abandoned mine shaft. The place was totally empty, so I figured a wraith or some other nightmare had gotten to the miners first. I tried not to think about it as I got deeper and deeper, putting torches along the wall to see. Eventually, I found some iron deposits and started mining. When I gathered enough ore, I thought about leaving, but then I got the sense that if I searched a little bit further, I'd find something amazing. And I was right! A little further across the bridge and into the darkness, I found a dusty old chest, and inside it was a claymore. It was a massive sword that seems impossibly heavy, yet rests easily in a just warrior's hand. I think I'm just, and with a sword this big, maybe I can attack the Wraith without even touching it. I returned back to my base after that, knowing I'd need to make a furnace to smelt all the iron, only to see someone had already built a furnace and a beautiful, well-stocked pantry. Oh my gosh, who did this?
It was me, Zozo. It was me all along. I told you I would repay your kindness.
Thank you, Nomad. This is amazing. I smelted myself some iron ingots and fused it with a stick to craft an iron pickaxe. With that out of the way, there's only one errand left to complete. It was chilly out in the deep dark taiga, and we needed wool to survive the winter. That's why I went out and found some sheep, then herded them back to the base. A little bit of construction later, and I had them all fenced in. Maybe I'm not so cursed after all. From day 13 to day 15, I felt a growing sense of anxiety over everything involving the Wraith. I couldn't get the Nomad's advice until I defeated the mutant Enderman, so all that was left to do was speak to Surge, the Royal Guard, and find out what he wasn't telling me. Surge, you seem to know more than you're letting on about this whole curse deal. How can I find out more about how to get out of this?
Of course I have some knowledge, Zozo, but knowledge learned without struggle slips through the mind like sand through the fingers. Perhaps to truly learn what it means to be cursed, seek out and defeat the Forsaken.
The Forsaken?
Yes, half-dead wanderers, twisted and cruel, victims of lesser curses who show loyalty to the Wraith. They know more than perhaps anyone else. Challenge will be just getting them to talk.
There's a challenge I'm gonna have to rise to, Surge. I left for the Canadian Shield again, taking flight and trying to scope out any supernatural activity. I didn't want any fights I had out here to lead back to my base, so it was best to keep these investigations far away. I flew down when I saw a group of skeletal figures shrouded in rags. These must have been the Forsaken. I've been cursed like you, and I need information. Perhaps together we can find a way to help all of us.
It is too late for us, child, and we will ensure that it's too late for everyone else, for we are the children of the Shilkran Forest, the emissaries of the cryptic wastes, acolytes of the darkness of the Wraith. Curses are not made to be broken, boy. They're made to break you.
There was no more reasoning with this gang of Forsaken souls. They started to charge toward me, so I had no choice but to destroy them. With my deadly shriek, I turned the tide, scattering their forces and even destroying some of them. Then came the time to use my real weapon, the Claymore, the mighty sword only true warriors could wield. I ran in and sliced and diced until the Forsaken were no more, and defeating them gave me enough power to level up again. I got bigger, stronger, reached a grand total of 40 hearts, and developed a new power, firing Wither Skulls. That's a spooky power. It must be because my curse is advancing. I've been cursed for over 2 weeks now. I really do need to get this curse lifted. Did one of them say something about the Shulkran Forest? Maybe I should go there first. From day 16 to day 19, I did just that, traveling to the eerie darkness of the Shulkran Forest. Yeah, it definitely tracks that the Forsaken like to hang out here. I'm getting the willies already. But I didn't have time to worry for long, because the Forsaken were standing right there.
We can smell your shadow, boy. The curse is growing, like a leech getting fat off blood. Look at us, Zozo. You think you'll be any different to all of us?
Just because you all failed to save yourself doesn't mean I will. I'd had just enough of people telling me how doomed I was, so I decided to deal with some doom instead. As armies of Forsaken emerged from the trees of the Shulkran Forest, I unleashed a volley of wither skulls and deadly shrieks. Once I'd given them a taste of that, I once again pulled out my claymore and ran into the last fray, threatening him. Tell me everything you know about lifting the curse.
You don't understand. I can't. If I tell you, I'll be destroyed.
If you don't tell me, I'll destroy you myself.
The Wraith, he's impossibly powerful, but he isn't invincible. He can kill you with a touch, but not if you're wearing the right armor. And there's a certain sword that can harm him, while all the others will merely slow him down.
What armor? What sword? I need to know!
It's
Without warning, the Forsaken burst into flames, and moments later, he poofed out of existence. Wow, not telling me about the armor and the sword must have been a condition of the curse that was placed on him. This Wraith really is ruthless, but at least I know what to look for now, even if the information I have is vague. From day 20 to day 22, I returned to the Canadian Shield to settle an old score. I need the information that the Nomad has, but I'm never going to get it if I don't defeat that mutant Enderman first. Didn't take me long to find the monster again, and when I did, he just laughed at me, which did not do wonders for my self-esteem, let me tell you.
Last time you were here, you didn't get a single decent hit on me, and I nearly destroyed you with one hit. You're hopeless.
That was last time. This is now. I remembered his tactics, and this time I was going to use them against him. I fired a wither skull, which, predictably, he teleported away from. But when he appeared behind me, my claymore was ready. I spun around and slayed him before he even had a chance to properly hurt me. Enderman, I just ended you, man! But I sadly didn't get to bask in my victory for long. I felt that familiar chill on my feathers and turned to see what I'd feared most, the Wraith floating out of the dark.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. Your life slips away by the second as the curse grows. Why not embrace me and end the fear, Zozo? It will be cold and quick.
I'm quickly getting out of here. I ran as fast as I could until I felt the chill of the Wraith subside. If he can make his way to the Canadian Shield, he could turn up anywhere. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the base to tell the Nomad the good news.
Thank you, Zozo. You have honored my family by defeating the mutant Enderman. To thank you for your kindness, I've built you a kitchen.
It was true. He had built me a luxurious and well-appointed kitchen. It would be perfect for cooking all manners of meals. Thank you, Nomad. You built a kitchen and a pantry now. Is there a reason you like food prep stations so much?
Well, before the Enderman destroyed my family, I actually wanted to become a chef, but my revenge quest derailed all that. I'm hoping to someday return to my dream once I feel like I have achieved vengeance from lost loved ones.
Interesting. I hope one day you get to pursue those dreams. So, could you tell me what you know about the curses?
I hope I didn't overstate how much I knew. It's mainly a bunch of stories my mother told me. A lot of it was about knives and scrunts. But one thing I think you might find interesting is that my mother once told me that the eagle and the hawk are the ones to stand against evil. Perhaps you'll find some answers there.
At least it's something. I'm an eagle, so perhaps I just need to find the hawk, whatever he is. But if I couldn't find the hawk, I'd at least find myself some armor. That's why I searched through the forest until I found the mining cavern from before and delved down into the darkness. If there are any Forsaken down here, they're going to get clay more than they bargained for. Luckily for me and them, the mine was empty, so I gathered up some iron deposits and went back to the base. There, I smelted my first few pieces of armor. Hopefully, this would provide at least some protection from the Wraith and the horrors his curse was bringing. From day 27 to day 31, knowing that I needed to get to the bottom of this eagle and hawk prophecy, I returned to the Shulkran Shulkran Forest. There were a large number of Forsaken here before I came in and defeated them. Maybe I can find something important here. But it seemed that after my victory against the Forsaken, they hadn't returned to the area. Instead, there was a single wandering trader.
Hello, stranger. Got some fine wares today. But I should warn you, this is a dangerous place to be. Yeah, those accursed Forsaken used to roam these parts.
But they won't anymore, cause I defeated them. You're safe to trade as much as you like.
You were the brave warrior who defeated the Forsaken of Shulkran Forest? Thank you! They've been terrorizing these parts for years. Here, take these 3 healing potions as a thanks. You've more than earned them.
Thank you, kind trader. I'll use them well.
Oh, but I don't even mean for use in battle. Health potions will help slow down the progression of the curse. So, if ever you feel overwhelmed, have one ready.
With that surprisingly pleasant exchange out of the way, I returned to my base. I'd been reading up on sigils that can help ward off cursed creatures, and decided making some banners with them could provide an extra layer of defense. I harvested wool from the sheep in my sheep farm, and used them to craft some supernatural repellent banners, which I carefully placed around the base. That'll keep the wraith away while I search for the hawk mentioned in the prophecy. But things weren't all sunshine and roses. In no time at all, Surge, the royal guard, ran up to me in what seemed like a blind panic.
Zozo, I received a horrible vision. I can feel cursed energies amassing. The Forsaken are leading an attack on the Elder's cabin.
Oh no, we need to go help him at once. From day 32 to day 35, Surge and I arrived at the Maple Taiga and raced towards the cabin that housed the Elder. Our feet pounded against the grass with fearful urgency as we hoped and prayed that Forsaken had not already beaten us there.
Zozo, look there! There's a group of Forsaken! They're in the range of your bow!
Enchanted bow on lock. Those darn cursed souls aren't getting past us! I unleashed heck in the form of my enchanted fire arrows, causing a couple of the Forsaken to burst into flames. Surge threw a fireball and managed to pick off a couple more of the foul miscreants. We cleared most of them, but out of nowhere more came charging towards myself and Surge.
You will be like we are. There's no sense in fighting it anymore. Just give up like the rest of us.
I drew my claymore as they approached. Since you're so good at giving up, maybe you should give up trying to make us give up. Between the two of us, Surge and I defeated the rest of the Forsaken. We were relieved because we thought we had stopped them. But when we arrived at the cabin, our hopes were dashed. The redstone circle was still there, but the cabin beyond was torn to flinders. The Elder was gone too, unable to survive the onslaught of the Forsaken.
No, this is horrible. How could I have let this happen? I should have been here this whole time.
It's not your fault, Surge. The redstone circle wasn't able to keep them out, which means the defenses against the curse are slowly failing. Nobody could have known it would happen.
The curse is getting stronger, and now we've lost the Elder. Don't you dare become a Forsaken, Zozo. We have to keep on going, for him.
I didn't want to tell him how scared I was about becoming like those other victims of the curse. From day 36 to day 39, I decided to spend some time away from my base and my friends, knowing that the curse was getting stronger, and that I might even risk not being myself anymore. I didn't want to have to face anyone I knew. Instead, I was swooping around the Canadian Shield, breathing in that fresh air, and trying to get my head together. During all this, I spotted a butcher, looking lost and wandering around. I swooped in, hoping to help after I was unable to help the Elder. Are you okay, Mr. Butcher? Are you being hassled by any cursed creatures?
Cursed creatures? I don't know nothing about no cursed creatures. I'm just a simple butcher looking for his lost mushroom. I've got an order for my famous mushroom beef cutlets later today, but without the mushroom, I'm done.
Well, I'd be happy to help you find your lost mushroom. It'll take my mind off all that other stuff.
Oh, really? That's so nice of you.
Using my bird's eye view, I swooped through the trees, looking for that pop of red and white. It didn't take me long to find the missing mushroom, and then I called over to the butcher.
You done me a real solid here, pal. If ever you want a big, juicy mushroom beef steak, you come to my place, and I'll give you one for free.
I'll remember to take you up on that once I've solved this whole curse situation. And with that, I flew off, reminded that fun little moments like this are exactly why I can't let the curse get to me. From day 40 to day 43, I came back into the base and found that Surge had added a pool on the roof of the base. Did you feel like swimming, Surge?
No? Well, you could use it for that if you want, but the real purpose of this pool is to be a focusing medium for our defensive enchantments. The water is located in the exact center of the circle, so it will buy us some time against the Forsaken. Also, I've invited one of my old friends in the Royal Guard to the base. If those things do get through, we'll fight the good fight.
That's good planning ahead. I still might take a swim in the pool, but only because I respect that it's here. Shortly after, a second Royal Guard came to visit in a uniform just like Surge. I left them alone to catch up on old times, but on a deeper level, I was nervous about meeting other people who might not understand my curse. I decided to take a walk outside of the base to clear my head. Surge was doing so much for me, but I knew there was something still bothering him, a secret that he hadn't yet revealed. While I pondered my friendship with the Royal Guard, I happened upon the Wandering Trader.
Here, Zozo. I see the curse hasn't gotten you yet. Splendid!
Hey, Wandering Trader. Good to see a friendly face out beyond the protective enchantment.
Oh, please. We're past titles. You can call me Hewitt. How many potions do you have left?
Oh, 3 actually. I haven't felt like I needed them.
You should have one, just to be safe. Remember, the curse will make you believe that you are more capable of fighting it off.
Did as he said, consuming one of my health potions. I was now down to 2. I don't know if these 2 will be able to ward off the curse for the rest of the 100 days. Do you have anything stronger I could purchase?
You're in luck, Zozo. There is a potion that'll help you identify and ward off the nightmare servants of the Wraith. In the common tongue, it's called the Potion of Night Vision. I can't make it for you, though. Not unless you find the elusive golden carrot, a key ingredient.
At this point, I'll take any help I can get if it means not becoming forsaken. Where can I find this golden carrot?
They used to grow in abundance in the Shulkran Forest before the Forsaken uprooted most of the beds and burned the carrots with them. Because it is too late for them, they resent the idea of others taking a precaution they didn't.
From day 44 to day 49, I once again traveled into the Shulkran Forest, hoping to find the golden carrot. Man, this place is dark. I can see why a night vision potion would come in handy. But it wasn't just dark, it was cold. Deathly cold. A cold that could only come from one source.
Can you feel my presence, Zozo?
It was the Wraith's voice, and as much as I looked around and readied my flaming bow and arrow, I couldn't see him. It was like his voice was floating all around me.
I am everywhere and nowhere, Zozo. And as my curse strengthens, stronger nightmares will seek you out. You cannot escape your fate.
We make our own fates, Wraith. Anyone who says otherwise is sleepwalking.
Then wake up, Zozo, and face the cruelty of reality. The phantoms of the night will devour you alive.
The coldness disappeared, and it was replaced by the red-hot rage of the Crimson Phantom. It swooped down and tried to attack, narrowly missing me.
Hungry.
I'm not on the menu! He wasn't the only one who could fly. Using my eagle wings, I took to the sky, and the battle began! From day 50 to day 53, I engaged in a pitched aerial battle with the Crimson Phantom, the most horrible cursed nightmare that I had yet encountered.
Devour. Eat. Crunch. Consume.
I won't let you do any of those things, Crimson Phantom. Prepare to face my claymore! With a tremendous slash, I carved away at a bit of the Crimson Phantom's health. The nightmare was fast, so it was only a glancing blow, but I used the chance to maneuver away and gain a better vantage point.
Hungry. Stop resisting.
Never! I delivered another blow with the claymore, but was blindsided by the biting tackle from the Crimson Phantom. Damage was severe, but it was all I could do to dodge away and drink my second health potion. I have to end this quickly, or I'll have to use my last potion. Here goes a Wither Skull! I summoned up all the twisted energy of the curse and converted it into a Wither Skull. When it shot forth, the Crimson Phantom was caught completely unaware. The direct hit stunned the monster, and with my claymore, I brought the Phantom down to the ground, cleaving it into dust. Phew, using that Wither Skull took a lot out of me. Thank goodness it ended the fight. What it also did was cause the Crimson Phantom to drop the golden carrot I was looking for. I'll take this back to Heward before I get attacked by another nightmare. From day 54 to day 57, with the golden carrot in my inventory, I decided to make my way back to the base. It feels like nightmare creatures have been jumping out at me from every shadow. I can't get my hands on that night vision potion soon enough. But as I was flying through the air, I got hit by a fireball that sent me spinning out. I landed on the ground, only to see a horde of ender gas coming towards me. Why did that fire hurt so much? Oh no, it must be because the curse is advancing. I'm already over halfway through the 100-day cycle. I must be more vulnerable to whatever hurts curses. But I didn't have time to worry about that yet. The ender gas were getting closer, and I needed to fight back. I took to the skies again, unleashing my deadly shrieks until every last one of them was taken care of for good. I need to get back to base and rest. I've exposed myself to too much cursed energy for too long. When I arrived back at my base, Heward the Wandering Trader met me there. He took the golden carrot and used it to brew up a night vision potion.
Be aware, Zozo. The effects of this potion will only last 3 minutes, so use it wisely. The Wraith won't give you a second chance.
Good advice, Heward. And if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna get some sleep, because getting you that golden carrot was a real odyssey. We were left to wander and trade, as wandering traders are wont to do, and I retired to my bed for the evening. From day 58 to day 62, I took some time to plant a flower garden in my base. It was in part to honor the elder, but I think part of me also felt bad for who the Forsaken once were. These flowers will be here to remind us all about the beauty there is in this world, and that we should never give up, even when things seem really bad. I left the garden to its peace, and went back to the depths of the mine shaft. There I found a bit more unexpected beauty in the rough. Diamonds! With these sparkling gems, I was able to forge a diamond pickaxe that would provide me with a wealth of resources as long as I was willing to mine for them. I've come this far, and I know I won't let this curse beat me. This diamond pickaxe is a sign of my progress and my will. When I came up from the mine, I saw Surge standing in the flower garden I made. I wonder if he knew its purpose. I approached him, and he spoke first.
Flowers always find the strength to grow, even if the land itself is troubled.
That's why I planted them. We should all remember that we can be the same way. As long as I'm not forsaken, I vow to remember those who are less fortunate through these flowers.
Can you plant a few more for my king and my comrades?
Surge, I think it's time you told me about your past. I will always support you. I want to know why you've supported me.
Very well. When I was younger and more naive, I was a fresh recruit to the royal guard of a certain king who used to control a lot of the overworld. That's why I've always referred to myself as a royal guard. For a time, we all served our king with complete loyalty under the command of Sergeant Brannock.
For a time, but not forever.
It all changed so suddenly, like a nightmare I thought I could wake up from. Brannock was afflicted with the 100-day curse, and instead of accepting his solitary fate, or fighting it like you, he did something else. He made a deal with the Wraith, that he would not be forsaken, but instead become a curse himself. All he had to do was kill the king, solidifying the sacrifice of his old life. I would love to tell you that we were able to stop him, but I wouldn't be the only one standing here if things had gone differently. Those of us royal guards who survived scattered to the winds, afraid that if we stayed together, Brannock's curse would pass on to all of us. I've lived my life in shame and fear ever since.
Thank you for letting me know all of that. It must have been so sad. You don't need to be ashamed, Surge. I'm still okay because you saved me. You're a better guard than you think, and it's because you fear what might happen to the people you protect. From day 63 to day 66, I woke up to a delicious smell wafting into my bedroom. I woke up and swooped over to the kitchen where Nomad was cooking.
Hey, Zozo. You know, your struggles and your persistence have inspired me. I've been working on getting good at cooking again, because a life spent entirely on seeking revenge is a life wasted. Here, have some calamari.
He gave me some delicious calamari, which refilled my hunger bar and made me feel a lot better. You've got a real talent for this, Nomad. I'm glad you're rediscovering your passions.
Calamari was one of my mama's favorite foods. Cooking these made me think of her. In fact, made me remember something she told me once. Something that may help you discover more about your curse.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she always told me that the most cursed land of all was the Cryptic Wastes. Perhaps that is where you'll find the answers you seek regarding the eagle and the hawk.
Sounds like a plan to me, Nomad. I'll head there immediately.
Just be careful, Zozo. Horrors lurk there. Be sure your defenses are strong.
Having eaten some more calamari, I took flight in the direction of the Cryptic Wastes, a dark and desolate place with a cursed sky. I could immediately tell that something was wrong here. As I landed on the ground and started moving along, I heard quiet footsteps behind me. I turned and, in a flash, an assassin was standing behind me, armed with a Kyther.
Make one move, and it's your head, demon.
Wait, I'm not a demon.
Your kind lies. I can feel the cursed energy radiating off of you.
That's because I got cursed by a wraith. Why are you even here?
I am Frey of the Cleansing Light Assassins Guild. We are an ancient order of covert warriors who took a vow to live in the territory of evil and smite them from within. I was born and raised in the horrors of the Cryptic Wastes, and I have learned to master them. Do not fool yourself into thinking you can trick me, Forsaken One.
I may be cursed, but I'm not forsaken. I respect what you do, Frey, but I'm after something deeper. The cure! A way to stop evil at its source.
Do you speak of the prophecy of the eagle and the hawk?
What do I look like to you, Frey? I've been taking healing potions to suppress the curse, but I only have a month before it overtakes me completely. I need all the help I can get in fulfilling the prophecy and stopping the wraith.
A worthy mission, but words are only worth the seconds it takes to say them. If you want my help, you'll prove yourself. If you want to show me you do not stand with the wraith, slaughter one of his most dangerous minions, the Bone Storm.
Consider that Bone Storm defeated.
Then let us depart. But if I suspect I'm being deceived, I'll eliminate you before you could even imagine a Wither Skull. You have my word as an assassin on that.
We set off deeper into the Cryptic Wastes, knowing that darker nightmares lay ahead. From day 67 to day 70, 70, Frey led me to the lair of a new nightmare, the vicious animate colossus of Marrow, known as the Bone Storm.
I'll spare you the indignity of answering whether or not you can defeat that thing. If you fail, I will clean up whatever remains of you both. Now, get in there and show me if you have an assassin's will.
You will find that my willpower is my greatest strength. I've been honing it ever since the day I was cursed. Watch and see who I really am. I flew towards the Bone Storm and let out an eagle shriek. The Bone Storm was on my tail soon enough, but I wasn't about to let it catch me. I ascended upward and drew my bow. Enchanted arrows rained down on the Bone Storm, setting it alight. The fire was fearsome, but it wasn't enough. I realized all too late that the Bone Storm could fly as high as me. I was engulfed by its many storming bones and took severe damage. I put away the bow and started hacking through the bones with my claymore, breaking out into mid-range. I could feel that Frey was still watching me, and because of that, I held off on using my Wither Skulls, but I couldn't win without them, so I gave in. Wither Skulls, come forth! End this nightmare! I sent Wither Skull after Wither Skull into the Bone Storm, and this weakened it until I was able to slash it apart with my blade. The Bone Storm was beaten, but I had another problem. I could feel that the use of my Wither Skulls had given the curse more influence. If I didn't drink my last potion, Frey would probably take me out on principle. What other choice do I have? I gulped down the third potion, my last line of defense against the 100-day curse. Frey came to see me after the fight.
I must commend you for what you did here. For now, you are a master of your curse and can use it for the greater good. I will still be keeping an eye on you, but you have earned my aid as well.
With Frey the Assassin as my new ally, I felt hopeful, despite the fact that I was now out of potions. From day 71 to day 74, I went deeper into the cryptic waste, knowing that I at least had Frey's alliance now. But I could feel that the curse was getting worse. I felt a strange kind of coldness inside me, in a deeper way that I ever had before. I'm going to need to fight back against the evil within, just like you can fight back against boredom by watching more Zozo videos. Just search ZOZO for more Minecraft adventures. This part of the cryptic waste seemed even more desolate than the rest. There were huge chasms in the floor, leading down to somewhere deep and dark. Then, all of a sudden, I couldn't move. I felt the coldness within me touch my feathers from the outside. It could only be the Wraith, here to finish what he started. He rose out of one of the chasms and began floating towards me while I was powerless to move.
Your curse is progressing nicely, boy. Less than 30 days now until completion. Here I am. Here you are. Nothing changes unless I will it to.
You're wrong. Me and my friends are going to defeat you.
Friends, how quaint. No one can befriend a shadow, Zozo, and soon that's all you'll be. Why even wait? All it'll take is a single curse touch.
He was getting closer and closer and closer. I couldn't move, knowing his touch would destroy me instantly without the special armor. I still couldn't move, but I summoned just enough power to start firing my Wither Skulls at the Wraith.
Pathetic. You think you can fight me with the powers I gave you?
He was right. I needed to be smarter. And when he was only blocks away from me, I had an idea. I blasted Wither Skulls on the ground between us and the blocks beneath him, letting me fall into the darkness away from him. From day 75 to day 78, I was lying on the floor of the cavern, several levels of blocks below the surface. My body still couldn't move. It was as if I didn't have any strength left in my body. Or maybe it was still there, but my will couldn't access it. Is this what it feels like to be forsaken? Wait, why did I say that? No, I won't give in. I won't become like them. This curse isn't stronger than... Who was I kidding? I was all alone now, out of potions, and lost somewhere under the cryptic waste. The one thing I could be happy about was that I was far away from all of my friends right now. They wouldn't have to see me as a forsaken. Surge will probably miss me. That's what the flower garden is for. I closed my eyes and waited for the curse to take me. Then, I heard the voice of someone I never could have expected.
Zozo, I'm here. Drink this potion.
It was Heward, the wandering trader, and he had a kind of potion I had never seen before. I drank it, and my body was able to move again. I stood, just relieved that it was through my own power. Heward, what are you doing in the cryptic wastes?
I couldn't lose my best customer, Zozo. Besides, that potion wasn't good for much else, besides restraining the curse for maybe 10 or 15 more days.
I could feel that he was right. The curse was still within me, but its influence was suppressed. I was healthier than ever, with a total of 100 hearts. There was one other other feeling I felt on top of that, though. A chilling cold that responded to me and could be focused into a weapon. One more blessing from the curse. An ice blast! From day 79 to day 84, I climbed out of the chasm at my greatest power yet, but also at my greatest level of curse affliction. I have less than 20 days to repeal the curse now, or I won't be an eagle, I'll be a monster!
Why don't you just embrace it?
I turned and saw a heavily armored man with a shield and a phantasmal blade standing across the waist and watching me.
The curse doesn't have to be a burden. It can be a doorway to power beyond all comprehension.
Who are you?
Oh, where are my manners? I'm Sergeant Brannock. Ever heard of me?
I've heard you're a traitor who hurt my friend. That's enough for me to take you down. I decided to give my power a try and hit Sergeant Brannock with an ice blast, but he lifted up his shield and blocked it.
I remember when I got that one. You're making me all nostalgic.
I drew my claymore, ready to charge in and fight him, eagle to man. But he was too fast. He threw his phantasmal blade at me, devastating my hard count. But before I could recover to unleash another strike, he hit me with his own, much more powerful ice blast, freezing me in place. No, this isn't fair.
Life isn't fair. It's why you gotta cheat, lie, and steal if you want to get anywhere, kid.
You're gonna pay for what you did to the king.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about the king, Zozo. I'd be more worried about your friends.
What did you do to my friends?
I decided to stop by your base before I came here. Hope you don't mind, but me and the Forsaken remodeled the kitchen a little, and we remodeled the guy in there.
Nomad? No!
Gotta hand it to him. He made a mean calamari. Shame no one will ever taste it the way he made it ever again.
You're lying.
Am I? Go back to your base and check. Oh, when you can move again anyway. See you soon, Zozo.
The sergeant ran off after that, leaving me frozen and enraged. And not just for a whole hour. I was frozen there for 2 solid days, when suddenly I felt a strangely warm presence. Out of the ground rose a spirit, covered in gold. When he was there, I felt my frozen state let up. I somehow just knew he was here to help me.
Zozo, I am here from the beyond. You have struggled enough, my friend.
Who are you?
You do not know me, but your friend does. I am the king that Sergeant Brannock betrayed and slew.
Gosh, you're the king that Surge was defending.
The very same. And now, my spirit is here to give you a boon, one you earned through resilience and sacrifice. I would have given you this earlier, but I needed to know you had the strength and the temperament to wield it justly. This is Hawkbrand, the only sword that can harm the Wraith.
He passed me Hawkbrand, one of the coolest swords I'd ever seen. Hawkbrand, eagle, and hawk. It all makes sense now. This is the prophecy.
Yes, Zozo, but don't be reckless. The Hawkbrand can only be dangerous to the Wraith once it has been properly enchanted. And I'm afraid the location of the enchantment book is a mystery even to me.
I'll find it, Your Highness, even if I have to go to the ends of the end.
Good work, Zozo. I ask you only to perform one more task. Tell Surge to not blame himself to what happened to me. He did all he could and shouldn't spend the rest of his life in the shadow of the past.
King dropped into the abyss, and it was time for me to get serious. From day 85 to day 89, I found my way back to the base, flying as fast as my wings would allow. From above, I could see that the base was damaged, the pool on the roof was draining, and the base was in ruins. The Forsaken were still causing destruction down below, guided by their own boundless despair.
How many days do you have left, Zozo? 100 doesn't last forever. We will welcome you soon enough.
You won't bring me into your misery, but I will put you out of yours. A hurricane of enchanted fire arrows rained down upon the Forsaken, leaving none to tell the tale. I landed by the kitchen and entered, fearful of what I might find. Within were more Forsaken, whom I startled with a screech and dispatched with the unenchanted Hawkbrand. As I assessed the damages of the demolished kitchen, I saw the nomad's daggers lying on the counter. His weapons were all that were left of him. Rest now, friend. I'll bury these daggers under the flower garden for you. But it wasn't enough to mourn. I needed to return to the cryptic waste and end this once and for all. From day 90 to day 94, I stalked the Forsaken all the way back to the cryptic waste. With my ice beam, I froze them in place, then destroyed them all with the Hawkbrand and my beloved claymore.
Very impressive, Zozo. Seems like the curse is really almost complete. Soon, we'll be 2 peas in a pod.
Sergeant Brannock, I'm gonna make you pay for what you did to Nomad.
Is that what his name was?
He just wanted to cook.
Believe me, he cooked.
That was the last straw. I unleashed everything on him. The ice beams, the wither skulls, the flaming arrows. Somehow, no matter what I gave him, he gave it back even harder.
Everything you've been through, I've been through it first, kid. You really think you've got any surprises for me?
With one throw of his phantasmal blade, I was on the ground. From day 95 to day 97, I tried to stand back up after Sergeant Brannock had knocked me down, but my body refused to move. No, not like this. I still have a few days left.
I think you misunderstood the 100-day curse. It doesn't matter if you give in at 10 days, 20 days, or even 90 days. Heck, you can even tough it out for the full 100 days if you really put your mind to it. But do you know why it doesn't matter a lick? Because once your days are numbered, that's it. That's all you got. Do you think it will matter if you give in today, or tomorrow, or the next day? It won't. Did you once ever ask any of the Forsaken which day the curse got them? Do you think they even remember?
I'll remember. I will live on to remember my 100th morning. Whatever comes after that, I'll face it too. You're the one who turned away because it got too tough.
Empty words from one who chooses to be forsaken. You could have been like me.
Who would want that? Brannock raised his phantasmal sword, too angry to respond to my words. I didn't need to say anymore because Surge would say it for me. He was standing right behind his former leader.
Hello, Brannock.
Brannock turned away from me, and in that moment, it was like it was only himself and Surge in the entire world.
Your face is different, Surge. Has the stress of failure haunted you for this long? It is true that I'm haunted by failure, but not of my own. What do you mean by that, recruit? You failed us. You failed your king. You failed yourself. And today, when I prevail and save Zozo, it will be your last failure. Then come on, Surge, prove those words. Are you afraid? I am afraid, and that's why I'll win.
Surge conjured a fireball and hurled it straight at Brannock, who neutralized it with an ice blast. Forsaken Sergeant deployed his phantasmal blade, and Surge dodged, drawing a sword of his own. They clashed and circled each other before Brannock pulled back to let loose a barrage of fireballs. Surge was hit, and Brannock was sure to take advantage of this by drawing forth the cold into an ice blast more powerful than any I could imagine.
So long, Surge. No flowers for you, Brannock.
Surge cast a fireball to match Brannock's ice blast, but it was more than a fireball, it was a dragon fireball. It melted straight through the frost and burned Brannock's forsaken shell to ash.
I did it, my king. You are avenged.
I ran to congratulate Surge on the victory. You did amazing, Surge. The king would have been so proud of you. Upon Brannock's destruction, a book was dropped featuring enchantments of a prophetic sort. It was the very magic that was required to enchant Hawkbrand. Looks like Brannock was even planning to betray the Wraith if it suited him. He really didn't know the meaning of loyalty. And in a way, that's finally good for something. On day 98, after enchanting the Hawkbrand, I kept going in the direction that I knew I'd find the Wraith's lair. I can feel the cursed energy in me burning as I get closer. I know I'm gonna have him soon. But on the journey, I encountered one more old friend, the wandering trader, Heward.
Zozo, I see you have gained the enchanted blade, but there's something you're forgetting.
What's that?
The special armor. Without that, the Wraith could still kill you in a single touch. This is the Cave Scorpion chestplate. I'd rather not go into what I had to do to get it, but if you put it on, you should be ready to do what needs to be done.
He gave me the special chestplate, and I equipped it with pride. Thank you for all you've done for me, Heward.
What can I say? You're my best customer.
On day 99, finally equipped with the enchanted Hawkbrand and the Cave Scorpion chestplate, I was ready to take on the Wraith and destroy the curse. But even though I could see the Wraith's lair in the distance, there was something terrifying in the way. A whole flock of crimson phantoms. How am I gonna get through all of those? One of them was enough of a problem for me.
But not for me.
I turned and saw Frey, the assassin of the Cleansing Light Assassins Guild, stealthily approaching. Frey, what are you doing here?
I made a promise, Zozo, and an assassin never leaves a debt unpaid. Slay the Wraith, break your curse, leave these weaklings to me.
He seemed to know what he was doing. With one final glance between us, I snuck past while Frey ran into battle. On day 100, I was at last in the lair of the Wraith, the origin point of all the curses in the overworld.
You should not have come here, Zozo. This is your 100th day.
I barely saw the Wraith in the darkness of his lair.
I'll let you in on a little secret. I called it the 100-day curse, but nobody but you has ever lasted this long.
Of course not, because it wasn't time for the prophecy to be fulfilled yet, Wraith. The day you cursed me was the start of your last 100 days. I drank the potion of night vision, and the inside of the lair was clear as day to me. I could see the Wraith bearing down on me, but I had no fear left in my body. Only strength, only will.
I am everywhere.
The Wraith touched me, but to his shock, I did not die. With a single practice swing of Hawkbrand, I struck him down. And now, you're nowhere. On day 1, I spawned into the Redwood Forest as a hacker! Ooh, nice! I wonder if there are any computers in this forest that I can hack. Right away, a redstone golem appeared, and he didn't look happy to see me.
Red alert! There's a hacker! Stop right there. This is a no-hacking zone.
Uh-oh, I wish I could remember some sick hacker moves to get me out of this situation, but I can't remember anything. Guess I'd better just run instead. I ran as fast as I could, but that redstone golem was gaining on me. I need to go faster, but I'm just a baby hacker right now. My short little legs can't go any faster than this. Plus, it looks like I only have 10 hearts. I need to be careful.
You weren't careful enough.
Somehow, the redstone golem was right in front of me. How did you do that?
I'm clever. You should know a thing or two about that, hacker.
I don't know a thing, and I definitely don't know 2 things.
Well, here's something to know. You're under arrest, and you're coming with me.
Oh no! On day 2, the redstone golem took me to a base deep just outside the Redwood Forest and threw me into a prison cell. Hey, I wasn't even doing anything. Let me out.
No, we can't take any risks with hackers. You're just too dangerous.
Well, come back. I promise not to hack anything for evil.
You're a hacker. Hacking for evil is what you do.
The redstone golem left, and I realized I wasn't alone in the cell. There was a redstone cube in there with me. Oh, hey, what are you in for?
They thought I might be a hacker. I was just trying to learn more about computer systems so I could unlock this safe. Not for stealing it. I swear, it's my safe. I forgot the password. Oh, you probably don't believe me.
No, I believe you. Unlocking stuff with hacking. That sounds so familiar. Wait, I'm remembering something. I think I know how to do that. I had to extend my arm to reach the terminal, but I was able to hack the security system for the cell door. I heard the lock click, and the door opened. I did it. We're free.
Whoa, good job.
I ran out of the prison and out of that base without a second glance.
Thanks, stranger. See you around.
My name's Zozo. Oh, he's already gone. Bye. I'd better get out of here before the guard comes back. Where am I gonna go now? On day 3, I escaped into the untamed wilderness of the Redwood Forest. Let's see, where does a tiny hacker go in this crazy world? Uh-oh, what was that sound? Oh, it was just my stomach growling. I'm feeling pretty hungry. I better find some food. I explored the forest, searching for something to eat. Then, I spotted some wild carrots I could pick. These should do just fine. I dug up the carrots and gobbled them up. Much better. Now I can focus on getting somewhere safe, where that redstone golem won't capture me and throw me back in jail.
Did you say you're running from the redstone golem?
Ah! Who's there? A robot stepped out from behind a tree.
Sorry for the scare, son. The name's Robot. Mr. Robot specifically, though my father always hoped I'd become Dr. Robot someday. But I digress. It sounds like you and I have a common enemy.
I don't know if I'd say enemy, but I definitely don't want to run into that guy again.
Well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Want to be my friend?
Sure, I could use a friend right now.
Then that makes the redstone golem your enemy. It's airtight logic. What's your name, and how long have you been hacking?
Zozo, and I'm not really sure. I seem to have forgotten a lot of my skills, but I'm sure I can get them back if I try.
Follow me. I've got a place where we can talk more without our enemies overhearing.
Sure, what could go wrong? From day 4 to day 5, I followed Mr. Robot to his base in the Crag Gardens. Whoa, nice place.
Thanks. It took me a while to build it. Lots of hard work, but it was worth it. Nothing worth having comes easily, Zozo. It all takes effort. No pain, no gain, as they say. But you strike me as a fellow who isn't afraid of hard work.
Nope. Only thing I'm afraid of is spiders.
Great, because I need a partner to work with me on my most ambitious project yet. And though I'm the greatest hacker in the land, no man is an island.
Right, of course. You're a robot.
Exactly, and I need an assistant. Someone with the potential to hack as well as I do. Are you up to the task, Zozo?
I think so, but why are you trying to hack into every system in the overworld? It's not for evil, is it?
What? Of course not. I'm just doing it to keep everyone safe. If I hack every system, I can install surveillance software to look out for all kinds of danger. Danger, like that redstone golem that captured you earlier.
Oh yeah, that was scary. Okay, I'll help you.
We only have 100 days to accomplish our mission. If you're ready to join me, take these stone tools and get to work. Assistant, build yourself a base of your own.
You got it, Mr. Robot. I took the stone tools and ventured back out into the crag gardens to build my base. I was just about to begin construction when the redstone golem attacked me.
You escaped once, but you won't do it again.
Yes, I will! I fought back, and all of a sudden I fired an energy blast at the redstone golem.
Ouch! I'll be back. You can count on that.
I didn't know I could do that. I feel strong. I think I gained more hearts. I have 30 now, and I think I grew too. Now, back to work on my base. Let me start by clearing out these weeds. From day 6 to day 8, I was building my base when I started thinking about what Mr. Robot said. He made it sound like the whole overworld is filled with danger, but I haven't seen any danger all day. Maybe I'm missing something. As I was talking to myself, I spotted that redstone cube I met while I was in jail. Oh, hey again! You made it out okay.
I did. You did too. Good stuff. Anyway, bye forever.
Wait a second. Have you seen any danger around? I've heard there's tons of it. So much that we need surveillance systems to track it.
I haven't seen much of any. That must mean the dangerous stuff is super sneaky. That's terrifying.
Yeah, my new boss was right.
I'd better go warn people.
Good luck. I was satisfied with my finished modern house, so I headed back to Mr. Robot's place to fill him in. I got a ton of work done on my base today. What should I do next?
I'll tell you, but first, I'm pretty sure I know who you were before you lost your memories. My creator had a best friend, practically an uncle to me, and his son was a talented hacker. Then, he went missing. They never thought he'd turn up again, but I think you're that lost hacker. You're like a cousin to me.
Wow, you're my family.
Yes, indeed, which means we were meant to be together, and you were destined for greatness.
Neato.
I have a mission for you, if you choose to accept it, which I assume you do. You must travel to the desert and confront a powerful royal guard there. He is corrupt, and getting rid of him will give us access to an important database. Don't waste any time. Get to the desert as fast as you can.
From day 9 to day 10, I followed Mr. Robot's orders and hurried out to the desert. I found a secretive-looking base guarded by a huge, strong royal guard.
Halt! Who goes there?
Your worst nightmare.
What? There's a giant talking artichoke here?
Oh, no, just me. But I'm still here to fight you. I'm a hacker, not a fighter, but I'll try my very best. I drew my stone sword and charged at the royal guard. He dodged me and hit me hard. I got knocked down, but I got up again. You're never gonna keep me down. It was a tough battle, and I got really hurt, but I managed to defeat the royal guard anyway. Oh, that really hurt. I don't know if I'm gonna get out of this okay. That's when my buddy, the redstone cube, appeared.
Hey, Zozo, you don't look so good.
Okay, that's kind of rude, but you're right. I don't feel so good either.
Here, take this healing potion.
I drank the healing potion, and it fixed my injuries enough for me to get back on my feet.
Can't stop thinking about that danger you told me about. I'm really good at making healing potions, and other potions too. If you need someone to join the team and help out.
That sounds great, but I think I should check with my boss first. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to Mr. Robot's hideout.
Zozo, welcome back. Was the royal guard taken care of?
He was, but I didn't see any kind of system for us to access. Are you sure you gave me the right place?
Of course I did. You must have just missed it. You'll need to be more careful and pay better attention if we're going to work together.
Oh, yeah, I guess I made a mistake.
Don't worry about it. These things happen. I've got another mission for you. If you think you can avoid screwing this one up, don't look so serious. I'm just joking. Mostly, I need you to go back to the desert and take out a weaponsmith there. He's been making weapons for some pretty evil folks, the kind who want to stop us from hacking. But first, head down into the mining cave nearby and dig up some iron ore so you can upgrade your weapons.
You got it, boss. I climbed into the mining cavern and searched for a rich vein of iron ore. After a little while, I found some and dug up as much as I could. Time to make some new gear. I fashioned the iron into some pieces of iron armor, an iron sword, and an iron pickaxe. Now I've got to get to the desert. Before I could celebrate, my old nemesis, the redstone golem, appeared.
Not so fast. I told you I'd be back.
Not you again.
Yes, me again.
Well, this time, I've got a brand new sword. He charged at me, but I fought back, and he was no match for me this time. Okay, now I'm going back to the desert. From day 13 to day 15, I arrived in the desert. Now, where's that weaponsmith? I have to stop him from making any more evil weapons.
I'm sorry.
sorry. Did I hear you say you're looking for a weaponsmith that makes evil weapons?
Yes, have you seen one?
I'm the only weaponsmith around here, and I've never made anything evil. In fact, I'm pretty against it.
Oh, that's weird. Mr. Robot said...
Mr. Robot? Oh no, please, don't hurt me. I can give you gold, whatever you want. Just please don't hurt me.
This is weird. I don't feel so good about this. I need to go back and talk to my boss about it.
Thank you for sparing me. Please don't come back.
From day 16 to day 19, I returned to the Crag Gardens. I just can't shake the feeling that something is wrong. I hope Mr. Robot has some answers for me.
Zozo, back so soon? How did your mission go?
Well...
It went well. Fantastic.
No, I wasn't finished. I just had some questions about...
Listen, Zozo, I don't really have time for questions. I have too much to do. Why don't you go back to working on your base, and I'll come find you when I have another task for you.
Oh, okay, I guess. With none of my questions answered, I traveled back to my base. When I got there, I was surprised to see the redstone cube waiting there for me.
Hey, you! Your boss is that big robot, right?
Yeah, why?
He's attacking a bunch of innocent people out in the desert. I tried to reason with him, but he just laughed in my face. You have to come talk some sense into him.
Oh no! I'm sure this is all just a big misunderstanding. I'll help sort it out. I hurried to the desert, where I saw Mr. Robot destroying the weaponsmith base. What are you doing?
Finishing the job you couldn't. I should have known better than to trust a stranger with it. You pathetic excuse for a hacker.
What? I thought we were family.
What aren't you getting? I lied to get what I wanted. I thought you'd be useful, but it looks like I'll have to find someone else to help me conquer the overworld.
You mean you're not trying to protect people?
Try and keep up, Zozo, or do whatever you want. I'm done with you.
I won't let you do this.
I'd like to see you try and stop me. You can't out-hack the master hacker, and that's me.
He fired an energy blast that knocked me down, and everything went dark. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up on the sandy desert ground. I looked around, but Mr. Robot was gone, and the area was completely destroyed. Oh no, I couldn't stop him. I can't believe he tricked me. I won't let him keep getting away with this. I'll need to get all of my skills back, the ones I've forgotten, so I can out-hack the master hacker himself.
Oh no, it's all gone. I was just about to move into his house.
I spotted the redstone cube who warned me before, wandering around the wreckage in distress. I'm so sorry. He tricked me before. I wasn't strong enough to stop him. But if you need a place to stay, you can come live with me for a while. It's the least I can do.
Listen, we've all been there. Who hasn't accidentally wound up working for an evil robot? Sure, I'd love to crash with you. My name's Robbie, by the way.
Zozo, follow me. We'll get you set up. I showed Robbie the redstone cube the way to my base and gathered some aspen logs to build him a room. Here you go. I hope this will do.
This works great. Thanks for giving me a place to stay after your former boss destroyed my neighborhood.
This is just the beginning. I'm going to do whatever I can to undo the damage Mr. Robot has done and stop him before he achieves his goal of total technological domination. From day 23 to day 26, I traveled back to the redwood forest where I first spawned. I'm starting to think that the redstone golem that arrested me had a reason to be suspicious of hackers. Maybe whoever he was working for can help me. I didn't get a chance to look for more redstone golems though, because I spotted a pillager under attack by a piglin brute. I know this isn't directly related to Mr. Robot, but I still want to help. I drew my sword and attacked the piglin brute. When the sword strikes didn't seem to harm him, I fired an energy blast at the piglin brute, but he was really strong and it didn't knock him down. As the pillager ran off to safety, I wondered if I really would be okay. I have to be. I have to survive to stop Mr. Robot. I summoned the strength from within and defeated the piglin brute. Hey, I'm remembering another skill. I can use my hacker skills to turn invisible. Only need to remove my pants first. I tried it out, and when I became visible again, I had grown bigger and stronger, and my hearts increased to 50. No time to celebrate. I've got to keep moving. I'll need all of my skills back if I'm going to beat Mr. Robot. From day 27 to day 31, I was continuing to explore the redwood forest when I heard the sound of some nervous baaing. Are there sheep out here? Hello, little sheep. Are you guys lost? They didn't answer me, but they stared at me with their huge sheep eyes, and I knew they needed a home. It's okay. You guys can come live at my base with me. It took a lot of work, and counting all of the sheep made me pretty sleepy, but I managed to herd them all back to my base. Now I'll build you guys a pen. Just wait right here. When I finished building the pen and herded all the sheep inside, Robbie came to see me.
Hey, Zozo, got a minute? I added something to the base, and I wanted you to check it out.
I followed him and saw that he had built a storage room. This is awesome, thanks! Meanwhile, Mr. Robot was having his meeting with an enormous Vindicator at his hideout.
Now that I've lost my assistant, I need some extra muscle around here. Are you up to the task?
Sure am, boss. You stick to hacking, and I'll get to smashing.
From day 32 to day 35, I traveled back to the base where I was imprisoned after I first spawned. They don't arrest me again. I just want to talk to whoever is in charge and find out what's really been going on with Mr. Robot and his hacking. I spotted a group of redstone golems and called out to them. Hi, I know I look like a bad guy, but I'm just here to talk. I promise.
Well, normally I'd be suspicious, but you sound pretty sincere. What brings you here, guy who's not a hacker?
Well, I am a hacker, but I want to use my skills for good. Can you take me to the person in charge? I want to help.
Any enemy of Mr. Robot is a friend of ours. Come with me.
I followed him to a large table within the base, where there was an assassin sitting, reading a book.
What is it? I'm having my reading time. Oh, who's this? A hacker? What were you thinking?
I'm here to help. I was tricked into working with Mr. Robot, but now that I know better, I want to help stop him.
Oh, well, that's worth interrupting my reading time then. Mr. Robot is up to no good, and he has been for quite some time. He was created to be a helpful robot, one who could hack into systems to fix them. But something corrupted him. He became obsessed with power and using his hacking skills for the pursuit of that power. The only hope we have of stopping him now is the most sophisticated anti-hacking measures. But I'm skilled in hand-to-hand combat. I'm no hacker. With you on our side, we might just stand a chance.
And I'll do whatever I can to help.
Glad to have you on board. I'll give you more information when I have it. What's your name, hero?
Zozo, and I'm no hero. I'm just doing my best. From day 36 to day 39, I decided that my armor was looking a little incomplete. I can't keep adventuring in this outfit. I need the whole iron armor set. So I traveled back into that trusty mining cave and dug up enough iron ore to complete the rest of my armor. I even found a couple diamonds too. Much better. When I returned home, Robbie was waiting for me, and he looked really excited about something. Hey, what's up?
I got you something to say thanks for letting me stay here. A customary gift as part of the desert where I'm from. It's some pocket sand. Throw it into an enemy's eyes, and you can temporarily blind them.
Awesome! I've got a pocket full of pocket of sand. Later, a powerful sergeant approached the entrance to the base.
Is there Zozo here?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, come with me, please. There's someone who urgently needs to speak with you.
From day 40 to day 43, I followed the sergeant to the assassin's base in the Redwood Forest.
Zozo, thank you for coming to see me so quickly. I have important news. It appears that now that you have defected for the side of the good, Mr. Robot has hired someone to replace you. Someone with far fewer qualms about following his evil whims.
No, what does he look like? What's his whole deal? I watched as a Vindicator smashed through the wall of the base.
My whole deal is bringing down destruction on the boss's enemies, which includes you two losers.
Myself and the assassin quickly moved out of the line of fire.
Run, Zozo. My guards and I will handle this intruder. Get to safety.
I don't want to leave you alone here.
This is an order, Zozo. You can't hack if you're dead, and we need you to keep hacking.
She made a pretty good point, so I hightailed it out of there. From day 44 to day 49, the assassin came to see me at my base. I'm so glad you're okay.
I fought far worse enemies than that blustering Vindicator. My mother-in-law, for instance. But enough jokes. I'm here about something serious.
Oh, okay. What serious thing are you here about?
One of my specialized gossip scouts heard something especially juicy and relevant to our fight against Mr. Robot. There is a supercomputer, one that can be operated only by the most skilled of hackers. If you get your hands on it, you'll be able to program a kill code that will defeat Mr. Robot and block his hackery once and for all. There is more information on it in this book of secrets.
I love secrets and books.
We've got that in common, in addition to our common goal of stopping the destruction of the overworld as we know it. You'll need to construct a special defensive bunker to contain the supercomputer during your kill code development, so you should probably do that, just when you get a chance. Good luck, Zozo.
You too, just with whatever you need luck with. I opened the book of secrets and it said, if you seek the supercomputer, maybe you should start your search out in the desert. Good luck. I need to speak to a brigand out there, and he'll tell me more about the supercomputer. It's hacking time. Well, not yet, but it will be pretty soon. I've just got to get a few other things done first. I sure hope I remember how to do it by the time I get the computer. Oh well, that's a problem for future Zozo. From day 50 to day 53, I ventured out to the desert in search of the brigand. Here we go. I'm thirsty for information. And also, I'm just pretty thirsty. It's hot out here.
At least it's a dry heat.
I turned around, and there was a brigand. I don't really get the difference.
Well, humidity makes the heat feel even hotter, and in a dry heat, at least you...
Sorry, I actually don't have time to talk about the weather. I was hoping you could tell me about the legendary supercomputer.
Only if you promise to use it for good. I'd feel terrible if I told you how to find it, only for you to use it for evil.
I promise.
Okay, well, I don't know much, but what I do know is that the supercomputer's core is made from refined glowstone. You can find an area rich in glowstone, you might just find the supercomputer there too. Also, I know that baking soda gets out most stubborn stains. Yeah, but that's less relevant right now.
Thanks so much. I don't know anything about glowstone, so I guess I'll head back home for now. Bye. From day 54 to day 57, I was passing through the redwood forest on my way home when I was suddenly ambushed by the Vindicator.
Ha! Get wrecked, puny hacker!
He charged at me and managed to land a big hit. I most certainly will not. You're gonna be the one who gets wrecked. I attacked, but it didn't leave a mark on him. Uh-oh, he's still much stronger than me. I've got to get out of here.
That's right. You better run, but it's only a matter of time before the boss and I get rid of ya.
Speaking of the boss, at that moment, Mr. Robot was hard at work on his evil plan.
So, Zozo is looking for that supercomputer. I'd better make sure I find it first. I won't let anything get in my way. And my mega power computer virus is almost ready.
From day 58 to day 62, I ran back home to my base and saw Robbie the Redstone Cube looking like he was in a really good mood. Hey, Robbie!
Zozo, I'm so glad you're back. I want to show you what I did. Look, I built us a furnace, and I got started on that defensive bunker you need to build. I just need you to help me finish it. It's gonna take a lot of work.
All the best things do, in my experience. But together, I'm sure we can finish it in time.
I need some diorite. Could you pick some up for me?
Sure. I quickly ventured out and gathered the diorite, dropped it off at the base, then headed down to the mines. Well, I've got all this energy. I should get in some quality mining. The mines were especially good to me on this trip, and I found enough diamonds to craft a diamond sword, a diamond pickaxe, and a diamond helmet. Nothing like some fresh, fancy gear to make a hacker feel confident. Bring it on, Mr. Robot. From day 63 to day 66, I was practice fighting with my new sword and pretending to be a medieval knight instead of a hacker when the assassin came to see me.
Sorry to interrupt your playing pretend time, but I have an important update for you. I have uncovered the location of the fabled supercomputer. It is hidden away in the Glowstone Gardens.
Glowstone! That makes sense.
I wasn't there for that scene, so I don't understand what you mean. But time is of the essence, little hacker. Come with me!
I traveled with the assassin to the Glowstone Gardens, but when we got there, a gate was blocking the path.
Blast! We can't get through! I apologize for leading you on this wild goose chase, Zozo.
Oh, heck. Now I have to chase some kind of wild goose, too?
Don't quit your day job, kid. Stick to hacking and saving the world. Go back to your home for now. I'll look into this situation further.
Okie dokie. From day 67 to day 70, I had just made it back to my base when the assassin came to see me again.
Zozo, I need your help. There's a burly barbarian causing trouble in the redwood forest. Will you come with me and provide assistance?
Yeah, sure. I'm not doing anything else right now. We went to the redwood forest, where sure enough, I saw a big old barbarian smashing up the place. Hey, what are you doing?
What does it look like? I'm attacking.
But why?
Well, stranger, since you asked, I'll tell you. Dr. Robot is going to give my family a virus if I don't destroy his enemies for him.
Are your family computers? Because that's the only kind of virus he knows how to do.
Shut up. You don't get it. My parents are computers.
He charged at me and attacked, but I dodged and fought back. He was big and strong, but I was clever. I fired an energy blast and knocked him down. Listen, I can help you up and we can stop this fight if you'll agree to work with me. Listen, you don't have to help Mr. Robot. He's not a doctor. He didn't even go to robot medical school. I'm working hard to defeat him before he can realize his evil plans. Join me, and we can stop him together.
Oh, that does sound a lot better than doing crimes I don't even want to do for a scary, mean robot. That's it. I'm switching sides. Let's work together.
Yay! I stopped untold potential destruction and made a new friend, all in a day's work for Hacker Zozo. From day 71 to day 74, I was back home at my base, thinking about what to do next, when my thoughts were interrupted by the sound of something loud and evil happening just outside. Oh no, what is that? I ran outside to check and saw that horrible Vindicator was back and attacking my base. Hey, what are you doing here?
What's it look like? I'm destroying your lame little base.
It's not lame, it's not little, and you need to stop destroying it.
Oh yeah? Who's gonna make me?
Me! I came close enough to using my energy blast at the Vindicator, but I didn't do any damage. He's still a lot stronger than me. I'll need something special to help me defeat him. I know, I've got my pocket sand. I grabbed my pocket of sand and got ready to throw it into the Vindicator's eyes, but before I could, he hit me hard. It knocked me backward, and I dropped the pocket of sand.
Oh, looky here. Pocket sand? Don't mind if I do.
Well, I mind.
Too bad. So sad. Finders keepers, losers weepers. Bye.
I tried to stop him from running away, but there was nothing I could do to him. Soon, he was gone, and so was my pocket sand. No, that was a special gift from Robbie. I can't believe I still couldn't beat him, and he stole my pocket sand. Everything's going wrong. I was so upset. I ran to my room and locked myself inside. A while later, there was a knock at my door.
Hey Zozo, it's me, Robbie. You know, the redstone cube from the desert and now from here? I fixed up the damage the Vindicator did to the base, and I built the perimeter wall to protect against any future attacks. I just thought I'd let you know.
Thanks, Robbie. That does make me feel a little bit better. Meanwhile, Mr. Robot was celebrating his impending victory.
Zozo's base is in ruins. He can't find the supercomputer, and my computer virus is almost ready. Soon the whole world will bow to me, the Supreme Hacker. Ha 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 ha.
From day 75 to day 78, I was finally feeling good enough to leave my base and get back to my quest. It was good timing too, because the assassin was outside waiting for me.
Zozo, Mr. Robot has nearly finished developing the virus that will allow him to take control of all computer systems in the overworld and cause untold amounts of destruction. It is vital that you defeat his henchman, the Vindicator, and become strong enough to destroy Mr. Robot before he can succeed.
But I'm still so weak, and he took my special weapon.
I know. That's why I brought you this firework crossbow. It will help you gain the upper hand. You can find the Vindicator outside of Mr. Robot's base. You know the way, right?
I do. Thank you. I'll try my best.
The fate of the overworld is in your hands, so you know, no pressure.
From day 79 to day 84, I traveled to Mr. Robot's base in the Crag Gardens and confronted the Vindicator outside. Hey, listen up, you Vindicator. I'm here to get my pocket sand back.
Perfect. I love beating up nerds. And this time, I didn't even have to come to your sad little house.
I couldn't think of a good comeback, so I just got out the firework crossbow and started shooting fireworks.
Oh, you brought fireworks to celebrate my victory. How cute.
I may be cute, but I'm going to beat you. He lunged at me and attacked, and I wasn't able to dodge in time. He hit me hard, and I started to worry this actually might be it for me. Oh no, I can't lose. Not like this. I have to find the strength within. All of a sudden, I felt a hacking memory come rushing back to me. The power surged within me, and I transformed into a larger, stronger version of myself, and my hearts increased to 100. I even gained a laser attack. I jumped back into the fight, firing a laser at the Vindicator and destroying him. I did it. I am a great hacker after all. I remember. And hey, he dropped my pocket sand. Yoink! Mine again! From day 85 to day 89, I returned to my base to check in with Robbie the Redstone Cube.
Zozo, you're just in time. I've almost finished building the defensive bunker. I just need you to add the final piece. Come quick.
I followed him and, with his direction, added the very last piece to complete the defensive bunker.
If you ever lose the keys to the bunker, remember, there is a hidden spare key in my room.
Hidden key, you say? I wonder if a hidden key exists for the gate in the Glowstone Gardens. I'm going to check and go get that supercomputer. See you soon, Robbie. I traveled back to the Glowstone Gardens and used my newfound key to unlock the gate and make my way inside. There was a huge, terrifying Forsaken, but no supercomputer in sight. You look hostile. have you maybe seen the supercomputer? He just growled at me. Well, have it your way. I attacked with my laser beam, then rushed in with my sword while he was stunned. Before long, the fight was over, and he dropped the legendary supercomputer. I guess the supercomputer was here all along. From day 90 to day 94, I left the Glowstone Gardens and was shocked to see Mr. Robot standing just outside.
Zozo, I thought I'd find you here. I wanted to offer you the chance to join me once more, to leave this being a hero nonsense behind and get back on the cool side of history.
No thanks. You lied to me, you tricked me, and I can never forgive you for that. Plus, there's the whole world domination thing.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well then I guess I'll just have to do this.
He knocked me back, and I dropped the supercomputer. And to rub the salt into the wound, he even dropped a cage on me.
Thanks for picking this up for me. It'll make my plan so much easier. See you never.
From day 95 to day 97, I used my laser attack to blast my way out of the cage and escape. I've got to go tell the assassin what happened. I ran all the way to the redwood forest, and when I got there, I saw that it was in ruins. I tried to take out the fires, but in the middle of it all was the assassin, and she was badly wounded, near death. Oh no, Mr. Robot must have come here already.
Indeed, he did.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
No time to be sorry, Zozo. You must recover the supercomputer from him. You can do it. Use the strength within you and your hacking skills.
And then she was gone. No, this is not fair. I promise I'll do whatever it takes to get revenge and stop Mr. Robot. On day 98, I arrived back at my base and found that it was in ruins too. No, Mr. Robot came through here and destroyed everything. Thankfully, Robbie the redstone cube emerged from the bunker he'd worked so hard to build.
Not everything. I'm still here, and so is the bunker. I was able to hide in there and stay safe while he was tearing up the place. It's going to be okay, Zozo. You just have to get that supercomputer back from Mr. Robot, and I know we can defeat him.
With nothing left to lose, I set off toward Mr. Robot's base. On day 99, I reached Mr. Robot's hideout. I need to be sneaky. I know, I'll turn invisible and go inside without being seen. I turned invisible and snuck into the base. When I spotted Mr. Robot, I fired a laser attack at him before turning visible again.
You slimy little snake. You snuck up on me.
Sure did, and snakes aren't slimy. They're actually very dry. I attacked him again, and he dodged, countering my attack. But I came back at him with my sword, and when he dodged again, he dropped the supercomputer. I'll come back and finish the fight later. For now, I need this. I ran back to my base with the supercomputer and took it into the bunker. All right, let's see if I remember how to do this. I booted up the computer and input a special code. Suddenly, the damage to my base was repaired, and I felt stronger. I did it! Well, I did the first part. Now it's time to take down Mr. Robot once and for all. On day 100, I strode confidently into Mr. Robot's base, ready for our ultimate showdown. This time, I didn't use any invisibility tricks. I marched right up to him, grabbed my pocket sand, and threw it in his face.
Ow, my robot eyes!
While he was preoccupied with the sand in his robot eyes, I fired a laser attack at him, knocking him back. He tried to attack, but he still couldn't see where I was, so I rushed at him with my sword. You lied to me. You took advantage of my lost memories to trick me, and you convinced me we were family. But I have a family now, my friends, and I won't let you hurt them or anyone else ever again. With my one final attack, Mr. Robot began to short circuit. The kill code I plugged into the supercomputer was finally working. Just because I have friends, that doesn't mean I can't still hack you.
Curse you, Zozo.
I charged at him one last time and knocked him so far back he fell into the pool where he short-circuited and shut down. I did it! I saved the day. Time to go home and take a well-deserved nap. And I think I'll take some time off from hacking and focus on my other hobbies.
On day 1, I dropped into the world as Thor. Whoa, I'm Thor, but why am I a baby? Before I could think about it too much, a portal opened next to me, and I saw my dad Odin standing inside. Dad, what's going on?
Zozo, we don't have much time. Gore the God Butcher has released his skeleton army on us. They are attacking Asgard, and sending you through this portal was the best I could do to keep you safe. I don't know why you're a baby, but I need you to find your hammer Mjolnir. Find your hammer, and I'll hold him off.
A giant skeleton appeared behind Odin, and they started to fight. Odin is really strong, but the giant skeleton was putting up a strong fight. I couldn't tell who was winning.
Go now, Zozo, and hurry!
The portal suddenly closed and I was alone. Okay, I can do this. I need to find my hammer and help my dad. And while I do that, I'll need to work on powering up my baby form. I'm sure my hammer can't be too far away, so I'll start by getting some supplies together to help me look. On day 2, I headed down the mountain, but I had no idea where to get started looking for my hammer. As I headed down the mountain though, I saw a boar. Looks like lunch. I'm not going to find my hammer on an empty stomach. I didn't have my hammer, or any other weapons for that matter, but I was the god of thunder. I bet I can take this thing on with my bare hands. I threw some punches and took him out, but not without losing a couple hearts. Okay, maybe I'm being a little cocky. I am a baby after all. I'll go work on getting some tools. I headed over to some nearby trees and started collecting wood. Once I had collected enough wood, I made a crafting table. Then I used the rest of the wood to make a wooden pickaxe. A wooden pickaxe is only good for one thing, and that's getting stone to make a stone pickaxe. So I headed over to the mountain and mined out some stone. Then I ran back to the crafting table and made a stone pickaxe. It's no Mjolnir, but it'll have to do for now. I wanted to collect some more food, so I headed back over to the mountains to kill some more boars. Using my new pickaxe, I was able to take a few of them out, no problem. I was even able to do it without taking any damage. I was going to have a full belly, but I still had several things I needed to accomplish before I could start exploring the mountainside. I needed to be quick though. I didn't know how long my dad could hold off the skeletons, or worse, Gore the God Butcher, whoever that is. On day 3, I started clearing out an area for me to build my base of operations. I'm sure it will take some time to find Mjolnir, so I need to make sure I have a good base to store all my gear, as well as anything else I find along the way. In addition to the wood I collected, I also made sure I headed back over to the mountain to get some more stone, as I would need it to help build my base and other supplies. It looks like I've got everything I need. Time to start building my base of operations. I started with a strong stone foundation and then used wood to fill out the rest of it. I wasn't going to need anything huge to start with, so this was going to work great. I was inside my base when I suddenly heard a strange noise outside. I walked outside to see what caused it, and Loki appeared out of nowhere.
Hello, brother.
Loki, what are you doing here?
I'm here to rescue you, as always.
I'm pretty sure I've never needed your help rescuing me. I am definitely the one who does all the rescuing.
Oh, so you don't want to know more about your hammer? I guess I won't tell you anything then.
Okay, what do you know?
Well, there's good news and bad news. Asgard is safe, for now.
Oh good, Dad was able to defeat the skeletons.
Not exactly. The skeletons and Gore are no longer attacking Asgard because they were teleported to this realm. Now they're looking for Mjolnir too, as they believe it will help them portal back to Asgard.
Great, so I don't just have to find my hammer, but I have to find it before a bunch of skeletons and a god butcher? I don't suppose you would like to help. But instead of answering, Loki turned and started to disappear.
You're the god of thunder. I'm sure you'll be great. Bye.
And that is why you can never trust the god of mischief. On days 4 to 5, I decided I couldn't waste any more time, so I started to explore the mountains. I was hoping I would be able to find someone who might have a clue to where my hammer could be. I was walking through the forest when I came across a group of lumberjacks. Greetings, mortals. I have a question for you. The lumberjacks didn't look so good. They were coming at me with an axe. They were zombies. Whoa there, back off. I used my stone axe to take out the first one, who dropped an iron axe. I then used that to take out the rest of them. Well, those guys weren't very helpful, but even lumberjacks had to have lived somewhere. Maybe there's a village nearby. On days 6 to 8, I was running through the woods when I saw a village up ahead. Perfect, someone there might be able to help me. As I reached the outskirts of the village though, I could tell something was off. The village was completely deserted. Not only that, the buildings were run down and covered in cobwebs. What happened here?
Curious, isn't it?
Loki had come out of nowhere. Loki, where did you come from? Why are you being so weird and mysterious?
Well, it's my brand after all. And before you ask, no, I don't know what happened here. I'm actually just as confused as you are about what's been going on.
Well, I'm gonna go take a look. Feel free to come along and help. I headed into the village and saw Loki had disappeared. No surprise there. I checked the first house and started looking in the chests, but they were full of cobwebs. I kept looking and soon came across a chest with some wood planks inside. Well, it's nothing special, but these could come in handy later. I headed into another house and saw something floating above an anvil in the room ahead of me. Could that be my hammer? I ran forward and picked it up. It was just a normal iron hammer. Oh shoot, it's just a regular hammer. But still, it feels better to have this than nothing. I'll keep using this in the meantime. I then made my way to the mead hall and checked the chest next to the throne. Whoa, check it out, it's full of gold. I might be able to craft something useful with this later. I then crawled onto the throne and thought about my dad in Asgard. This will be a good place to rest. Hopefully I can find some more clues tomorrow. On days 9 to 10, I woke up to the sound of something outside the mead hall. I quickly ran up the stairs and looked over the balcony. It's Loki, and he's being followed by a gang of skeletons. I've got to help him. I was about to rush down to fight when someone else suddenly appeared. It looked like the elite skeleton guard, and someone else was next to him. That must be Gore.
Take him prisoner and search the village. His brother could be nearby.
I had just gotten a new weapon, but there was no way I could take on all of them in my current state. All I could do was run into the storage room and hope they didn't find me. On day 11, I slowly made my way out of the storage room after what had felt like a lifetime. I made my way up into the mountains where it started to snow heavily. This weather is getting bad, I better stop and make a camp for the night. Using the wood I had collected in the village, I quickly made a small hut to keep me safe. When the hut was finished, I set up a campfire outside and sat down in front of it. I know Loki is an oddball, but he's still my brother. It's not fair that he got captured. I'm also not any closer to finding Mjolnir. I don't think I can do this. Suddenly, the flames grew brighter, and a vision of Odin appeared in the flames.
My son, do not lose hope. You are a god, but that is not what makes you great. Everyone has the gift of greatness within them, but all people must choose what they will do with that gift. You can let it guide you, or you can hide it away. God or not, you can become what you wish to be, but you must make the choice. No one will make it for you.
I understand. I can work through this. It will take time. Do you know anything of Mjolnir? If I'm going to be successful, I have to stop Gore from getting his hands on the hammer.
Everything has not been revealed to me, but I know it is somewhere deep and somewhere dark. You must take caution. It is guarded by a creature in chains. Take heart and carry on. You will find your way.
Then, just as suddenly as he appeared, Odin disappeared into the flames. Okay, I think I can do this. Somewhere deep and dark. A dungeon, maybe. I'll keep an eye out. On days 12 through 15, I left my camp and headed over the mountain pass. I decided to keep searching the countryside in hopes of finding some more clues. As I made my way over the mountain, I noticed a group of skeletons gathered in the distance. I don't see Gore or the elite skeleton guard. This must be a scouting party. I decided to take these guys on and see if I could learn anything. I came charging across the land as the skeletons quickly turned and came at me. This one is for my brother. By using my new iron hammer, I was able to quickly take care of the first couple of skeletons. The other ones tried charging at me too, but they were no match for my hammer skills. As the last skeleton faded, I felt electricity start to course through my veins. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning came from the sky, and I turned into Thunderstrike, a teenage version of myself. Whoa, I'm no longer a baby, and check it out, now I have 10 hearts. I was so excited about my new upgrade, I almost didn't notice a map laying amongst the skeleton bones. What's this? I picked it up and saw it was a map leading to where they were holding Loki. It's not a map to Mjolnir, but at least I'll be able to help Loki. On days 16 to 19, I headed back to my base to prepare. I was sure they would have some serious fortifications guarding Loki, and I needed to make sure I was ready for anything. Once I reached my base, I got to work on building a forge area. I needed to have a good workstation set up in order to make all the gear I would need. This forge is looking great, but I don't have anything to make at it. I'll have to head into the mines to get properly geared. I made my way down into a nearby cave. The cave was filled with lava, so I had to be careful as I made my way down. I quickly got to work and started grabbing everything I could find, starting with some emeralds. I've got something in mind for these emeralds, but I'll get to that later. Then I found some large chunks of gold, as well as some iron. This cave was full of massive ore veins, so I was able to get tons of supplies. Before I could finish mining everything though, I heard a sound coming from the other end of the cave. What is that? I made my way over and saw a squad of skeleton assassins. Uh-oh, how did they find me? I better take them out before they can tell their boss where my base is. I have to be careful too. Those axes can kill me in one hit. I made my way over to them and stuck to the high ground. Using my hammer in the terrain, I was able to keep them at bay and finish them off. Whew, it looks like I'm safe for now. I better hurry and get up to the surface. On days 20 to 22, I entered my forge and started smelting the iron I had collected. I needed to hurry and get things going so I could go look for Loki. The iron was going to take some time to smelt though, and given all the emeralds I had collected in the cave, I had an idea. I would never admit this to him, but one of my fellow Avengers has more courage than anyone I've ever met. I'm going to build a statue of him, in hopes it can encourage me to overcome any obstacles in my way. I was still the strongest, but got to work on the build. I wasn't going to be able to completely finish it now, but could certainly make some good progress. My iron was going to be finished smelting soon, so I decided to stop for the day. But before I grab that, I hope that you can help me out and hit subscribe. Ring the bell too, because you're not going to want to miss my next adventure, and if you have any ideas of what my next adventure should be, let me know in the comments. With the iron complete, I then put together a full set of iron armor, leggings, a helmet, boots, and a chest plate.
Wow.
Then I equipped everything. Alright, it's showtime. Let's go rescue Loki. I grabbed the map and headed over the mountain. I have no idea what could be waiting for me. I sure hope everything goes well. On days 23 to 27, the map led me to the top of a snowy mountain, where I could see a structure off in the distance. That castle must be where they're keeping Loki. Could this be where my hammer is located too? Oh, no, this isn't deep and dark, but maybe we can find a clue. I headed into the castle and saw Loki was being kept inside of a magical cage. It must have been stopping him from using his powers. Standing next to the cage, though, was the elite skeleton guard.
Ha ha ha! We knew you'd come looking for your brother. You fell right into my trap. I'm going to take you prisoner, and then no one will stop Gore.
Why is Gore doing this?
Gore the God Butcher is here to do just that. Butcher the gods. He doesn't fear you, or any god for that matter. He's going to find your hammer and make a portal back to Asgard. Asgard will burn, along with you, Odin, and the rest of your people.
That will never happen. I charged the skeleton guard with my iron hammer and we started to fight. He was really strong, but with my new armor and strength, he couldn't do much to me. But I couldn't fight him forever. How was I going to get Loki out of that cage?
Brother, the lanterns.
As I continued to fight, I noticed that there were two strangely colored lanterns hanging above Loki's cage. They must be powering the enchantment. I managed to land a hard hit on the skeleton guard, which gave me a moment to break the lanterns and bust Loki out of his cage. Good luck taking on both of us. Loki jumped into the fight and I could tell we were winning. The skeleton guard didn't stand a chance. The skeleton guard took one final swing, then turned around and ran away. You better run, you coward. Loki, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I had everything under control.
Remind me again how you are always rescuing me.
You know what? Just for that, you can walk back to the base yourself.
And just like that, Loki teleported away. I'll take that as his way of saying thank you. But yeah, I better get back to the base. From days 28 to 32, I was heading back to the base when I saw someone up ahead on the mountain. When I got closer, I saw it was Hawkeye. Clint, what are you doing here?
I gotta be honest, man, I don't know. I was at home one second, then the next, I was teleported into this forest. Something about that process left me feeling weak. That's when a massive bear came out of nowhere and stole my bow. Can you believe that?
Wow, yeah, that's something. Did you see where it went? I can help you get it back.
Yeah, it's off in that direction. Let's go.
On days 33 to 36, we were searching through the forest when we saw the bear in the distance. That bear over there, is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one. What's the deal with this universe? Are all the bears giant or something?
Beats me, I was teleported here too. I'm looking for my hammer, but I can fill you in on all the details later. Let's go get your bow back. We made our way over to the bear and started to fight. Hawkeye was right. This bear was no ordinary bear, but with the help of my fellow Avenger, we were able to take it down.
Hey, what's the deal? It didn't drop my bow.
Oh look, there it is. On a nearby branch, we could see Hawkeye's bow. I ran over and grabbed it, then tossed it over to him. There you go, buddy. How are you feeling?
Honestly, not great. The whole teleporting thing is new for me. Have you got a place to heal up?
I sure do. Follow me. On days 37 to 40, we arrived back at the base. It was going to be nice having someone I could trust around. Once he was feeling better, I'm sure he would help me with my mission. We got straight to work clearing a space for his camp. I told him I could build everything for him while he rests, but he insisted that building a camp was rest to him, just as long as we don't have to fight any more giant bears. We had soon cleared a good space and got to work on setting up his base. We worked on the foundation, then split off. Hawkeye worked on the house, while I worked on the target practice range. This base would give him everything he needed. Soon, we were finished.
Wow.
Hey, thanks for getting me all set up.
No problem. I hope you can get feeling better soon. I could really use your help.
Yeah, man, absolutely. By the way, I noticed you started building a statue of the strongest Avenger.
Second strongest, but go on.
Yeah, right. I noticed you needed some more materials. I've got some purple wool that should work perfect.
That would be great. Clint and I then got to work on the next part of the statue. Strongest Avenger? Surely he didn't mean to say that. And even if he did, he's definitely got to be the only one who thinks it. Soon, we had finished the second part. Thanks for your help, Clint. I was standing at the base of the statue admiring our work when Loki ran up and shoved me. Hey, what was that for?
Did you forget I was here? Do you really think I want to stay in the same house as you?
He had a good point. I didn't want to share a room with him either. So we headed around to the back of my house and built out an extension for Loki to stay in. I made sure to include everything he would need so he wouldn't have to bug me. After a while, it was all done. On days 41 to 43, I met Hawkeye at a shooting range. He told me there was something he needed to talk to me about. Hey, what's up? How are you feeling?
Feeling good. I'm not 100%, but I remember something that I think would be useful. It sounds like you've got quite the battle ahead of you, so we're gonna need all the help we can get. When I was coming through the portal, I remember catching a glimpse of that kid, Peter Parker. He might have landed somewhere in this world too.
Oh yes, Spider-Boy. I'll go look for him.
Spider-Man, but he's gone.
Another Avenger! I don't know why everyone was getting teleported here, but Hawkeye was right. I could use all the help I could get. Soon, I had made it back to the forest and started looking around. Parker! Spider-Boy! I checked all over the place but couldn't find him anywhere. The sun was starting to set though, so I decided to make a camp for the night. I finished setting up my tent and settled into my bed. In the middle of the night though, I heard a horrible noise. When I got up, it was a bunch of spiders. Oh gross, get out of here. I managed to fight off the spiders before they could do any real harm. But where did they come from? Maybe Parker is nearby. On days 44 to 49, I headed into the woods to see if I could find anything. I soon saw a bunch of webs, which were leading deeper into the forest. I can follow these webs. Maybe Parker will be at the end of them. As I followed them, I soon saw they led to a cave. As I came to the cave, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Look at all these spiders. And look, there's a giant one in there. I've got to take care of this guy before he finds my base. I rushed into the cave to take him out when Spider-Man dropped down from the ceiling. Whoa, Mr. Thor, hang on a second. Spider-Boy, I've been looking for you. It's Spider-Man, actually, but don't hurt the spider. He's a good guy. A good guy? Why did you send your minions after me in the forest? Yeah, he's sorry about that. He thought you might be working for Gore. I asked him what he knew about Gore, and he explained he didn't know where he was or where Mjolnir was. He did have some information for us, though. The portals that were bringing everyone here, they were actually created by Loki. Loki? I knew I couldn't trust him. He's trying to rule over Asgard again. The spider explained that he felt bad for sending his spiders after me and had an item that might help. He reached into a nearby chest and threw a weapon over to me. Whoa, this is a netherite destroyer. This thing will pack a serious punch. It's not as powerful as Mjolnir, but I don't think anything else is as strong as this. I thanked the spider for his help and invited Spider-Man back to my base. I was going to need some help dealing with this Loki situation. On days 50 to 53, Spider-Man and I arrived back at the base and headed straight for Loki's house. We checked downstairs but didn't see him. We headed upstairs and he wasn't up there either. As we ran back outside, we almost ran into him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it rude to knock before you enter now?
Loki, enough of your tricks. I know you brought Gore here and are pulling everyone from their worlds. You're not going to overthrow Odin, and you'll never rule Asgard.
Okay, can you take a breath and let me explain? It's true that I made everyone teleport here, but it's not what I was trying to do.
So what were you trying to do?
I thought it would be a funny prank to scare you with an illusion of Gore, but something went wrong with the spell, causing the real Gore to show up. I thought bringing your Avenger friends in could help you solve the problem.
Who else did you bring here?
Why so angry? Aren't you excited to see all your friends again? Really, I'm doing you a favor.
Loki, who else?
That little rabbit guy you like so much.
Rabbit? I think he means Rocket the Raccoon, sir. Ah, right. Where is he?
He's somewhere in the savannah. He shouldn't be too hard to find.
Feeling frustrated with Loki, I needed to do something to calm down and decided to get to work building Spider-Man a place to live. Spider-Man wanted to help too, so we worked together to build him a nice cottage. He said it was nice to get out of the city for a while, even though there were still bad guys around. We soon finished the house. Wow, thanks, Mr. Thor. This place looks awesome. After he had finished checking out the house, I saw Spider-Man looking at the Hulk statue. Impressive, isn't it? It is. Mr. Banner is so smart. He's the strongest of us too, so it makes sense you'd want to make a statue of him. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The strongest? Why was everyone saying that? Here, how about you help me finish the next part? Take some emeralds and give me a hand. Spider-Man and I got to work on the next part of the statue. Maybe I was being too prideful thinking I was the strongest. Nah, that couldn't be it. We soon finished the next part of the statue. It was nearly finished. On days 54 to 57, I headed off to the savannah to try and find Rocket. I couldn't focus on anything else, knowing that one of my friends might be in trouble. Before long, I saw Rocket trapped on a hill, surrounded by skeletons, including the elite skeleton guard.
Come on down. We aren't going to hurt you.
What, are you nuts? Give me that little sword of yours and then maybe we can talk.
Rocket always talked tough, but I could tell when he needed help. I jumped out from my hiding place. Hey, over here! The skeleton guard looked over, and as I got closer, some of his soldiers attacked. It was no use, though. My new netherite hammer could take them out in a single hit. The other ones were so scared, they didn't dare try to attack me.
You again? You think that new hammer is going to let you defeat me? You're nothing without Mjolnir.
I'll show you. I leapt into battle and hit him with my hammer. Even though I had gotten stronger, he was still extremely powerful. He was so strong, he brought me down to just 3 hearts.
Time to say goodbye. Asgard will fall.
You'll never take my home. I rose up in fury and hit him as hard as I could. After a couple of slings, he was down.
Hey, nice going. No wonder everyone thinks you're the strongest Avenger.
Thank you. I'm glad someone here still has their head on straight. It's good to see you, Rocket.
Yeah, good to see you too, pal. Say, you're looking for your hammer, right? Before that skeleton brute got me cornered, I heard him laughing with his men. I guess one of their scouting parties had located the hammer. He said it was so close to you, but you'd never find it. He said it was under your feet this whole time.
Under our feet? I did run into one of his scouting parties in a cave under our base. It must be under my base. Come on, Rocket, let's get you back with the others. On days 58 to 62, I got to work building a base for Rocket. I needed to start mining down under the base, but I had to get Rocket set up first. I always want to treat my friends right. Once the house was finished, Rocket called out for me to head inside. Once I got inside, I saw he had set up an enchanting table.
Here, buddy, take this lapis I stole off the skeletons. You can use it to upgrade that armor of yours.
Using the lapis, I went about enchanting all of my armor. I didn't have the highest levels yet, but even just a little bit of enchantments can make a difference. I ended up giving each piece of armor different types of protection enchantments. Thanks, Rocket. I'm feeling more protected already. I then headed outside to go to the mines, but paused to look at the unfinished statue. While I'm down there, it'll be good if I can find some more emeralds. There's still a lot more building to go. On days 63 to 66, I headed back into the caves I had been mining in earlier. I moved further into the cave system and saw there was a tunnel leading even deeper. I can't believe I came down here before and didn't notice this. As I headed further down, I came across a group of cave centipedes. I jumped forward and started attacking them. Out of my way, you creepy cave crawlers. I managed to land some strong blows and take them all out. That's when I noticed there was an entrance to a mine shaft. A mine shaft all the way down here? I've got to be getting close. I made my way into the small passage and ran into another group of cave centipedes. I took them out as quickly as I could so I could keep pushing ahead. Soon, I saw a bigger room before me and there was something written on the wall. What could it be? Could it be the greatest secret the world has ever known? Subscribe. It's not my hammer, but definitely a good idea. If anyone is watching this, I'd say go ahead and give it a try. It is free after all. On day 67 to 70, I entered a new part of the mine shaft. Upon looking around, I saw that the passage was littered with skulls and skeletons. Yikes, it looks like I'm not the first person who tried to get through these caves. I wonder what they were looking for. I moved further along and was suddenly attacked by a group of cave creepers. Oh no, I can't risk getting blown up. I had to be very careful as the creepers could explode at any second. By hitting them with my hammer and jumping back, I managed to take them all out without hurting myself too bad. Phew, that was a close one. I better pick up all this gunpowder. It could come in handy. With the creepers out of the way, I kept moving through the tunnel. Eventually, I saw a chest and went over to open it up. Holy cow, look at all these emeralds. This must be what the previous explorers were looking for. There's a lot here, but I'll need even more if I'm going to finish my statue. On day 71 to 74, I continued even further into the cave. Surely Mjolnir would be down here. Suddenly, I walked into a huge room with a minecart path snaking its way down to the bottom of the room. Whoa, I've got to be getting close now. I followed the path until I came to a large gap. It was a long drop to the bottom, so I carefully placed blocks across the gap. Once I was across, I jumped down to the other side. Further ahead, I came across another group of skeletons. More of these guys, huh? Makes me nervous as to what's ahead. Just then, I heard a terrifying sound and turned to see a massive cave badger come charging right at me. Could this be what was killing the explorers? Oh man, if I'm not careful, this thing is gonna knock me over the edge. I can't fly without my hammer. A fall like that definitely wouldn't be good for me. The badger was ferocious and almost knocked me off the edge several times, but in the end, he was the one who got knocked off. Have a nice trip. On days 75 to 78, I came to what I could tell was the end of the tunnel. As I made my way down the tracks, I could see something huge at the bottom, a creature in chains. I found the deep dark that Odin mentioned, and this must be the creature in chains. Mjolnir must be close. I descended to the bottom of the room and noticed there were some massive emerald deposits. Given Odin's warning, I needed to be extra careful not to disturb this creature. But getting all the emeralds I needed for my build was too good to pass up. If I'm really careful, I'm sure he won't notice if I take just a few blocks. I peeked into a nearby crate and snagged a few golden apples. Then I started to mine some emerald blocks. As I started to mine though, I heard a terrible noise, and the creature began to shake. The chains began crunching and clanging, and the massive beast started to break loose. I was in trouble now. He let out a deep growl and broke loose from the chains. Oh boy, this is gonna be my toughest fight yet. He let out another roar and attacked me. This guy was no joke. His hits did some major damage, and after no time at all, I was already having to eat my golden apples. Oh, I don't know if I can win this one. This guy is so strong. The giant managed to get a few more hits on me, but I kept sneaking in some blows of my own. I kept thinking of everything I had at stake. I had to win. I gave it everything I had and managed to take him out. Whoa, I can't believe I did it. That was way too close. On day 79 to 84, I noticed that the giant had been chained in front of a large door. There didn't seem to be any way in, but I had an idea. I headed over to a nearby enclave and dug up some blocks of sand. While I was over there, I helped myself to some emerald blocks as well. There's no problem with me grabbing these now. With the sand collected, I put down a crafting table and made myself some TNT using the gunpowder I had collected from the creepers. I also made myself a lever so I could light it off. Then, I placed the blocks down and flipped the switch. Here goes nothing. The TNT blew a hole in the door, and I made my way into the tunnel behind it. After a short walk to the end of the tunnel, I saw a huge crater in the ground, and Mjolnir was at the bottom. At long last, I found it! I can barely believe it! I quickly made my way down the ladder and up to the anvil. Mjolnir flew into my hands. I jumped to the top of the anvil and felt the electricity flowing through my veins. There was a bolt of lightning, and I turned back into the adult version of myself. At last, I'm all powered up. Gore isn't gonna know what hit him. On days 85 to 89, I decided I needed to test out my new powers. Alright Mjolnir, let's fly. With a lurch, I launched myself up into the air and out of the pit. I soon made my way back into the large room. The stack of emeralds from before were still sitting there, so I mined out the rest of the emeralds I needed to finish the statue. Once I'd collected those, I used Mjolnir to launch me into the sky and fly to the top of the minecart tracks. I'll be out of here in no time. As I was leaving, I came across some of the mobs I had fought earlier. Let's see how you handle this. I aimed at the creeper and let Mjolnir loose. It flew through the air, striking the creeper. I then finished it off at close range. Using my new abilities, I continued to fight my way out of the tunnel, killing mobs with a combination of close and long range hits. Once I was nearing the top of the tunnel, I came across some diamonds. Great, I can upgrade my armor using this. I mined out as many diamonds as I could get, then finally ascended out of the cave. On days 90 to 94, I came out of the cave and couldn't believe what I was seeing. Sitting in the middle of our settlement was the Avengers Tower. I saw my friends grouped outside and ran up to them. Whoa, guys, what's going on?
I may have forgotten to mention it. I also teleported Dr. Strange here. Greetings. I thought you could use all the help you could get. I've been working on portals to get everyone back, but it looks like I can only pull things in as long as Gore is still around. I figured I would pull the resources of the Avengers Tower in to help with the fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once you're settled, come pay each of us a visit. Using the resources in the tower, we all managed to get something that should help you in the final battle. We'll talk soon.
On days 95 to 96, I headed straight to my forge to start crafting my diamond armor. I brought the diamonds to my anvil, and by using Mjolnir, I was able to craft myself a full set of diamond armor. With my diamond armor complete, I better go check with everyone to see what else they were able to find. But before I could walk off, Hawkeye walked up to me.
I know you were gonna come see me, but since you're working on your armor, thought I'd bring this to you now.
Hawkeye tossed out a handful of netherite ingots. Whoa, this is even better. I'll get upgrading right away. As I upgraded my diamond to netherite, Hawkeye explained that he had found all of it inside the Avengers Tower. It's a good thing Dr. Strange was here to help. With all of my armor upgraded, I headed over to Rocket's house. Hey buddy, what have you got for me?
You are in luck. I went digging through the tower and managed to scrounge up some more lapis for enchants. This ought to help beef up that new armor of yours.
I took the lapis and got to work enchanting my new armor. Rocket was right. These enchantments were going to make a massive difference in the fight against Gore. With my armor fully enchanted, I then headed over to Spider-Man's house. Hey, Mr. Thor. Wow, I'm so glad you're here. I checked out the labs in the tower, and would you believe it? They were full of brewing ingredients. I managed to put together some potions. I hope you'll find them helpful. Spider-Man threw out a speed, fire resistance, and health potion. He was right. These would definitely be helpful. From there, I headed out to find Dr. Strange and thank him for all of his help. To my surprise, he came flying down from the tower and landed right in front of me.
Interesting choice for a statue. I thought you would have chosen the strongest Avenger.
Well, it would have been a little strange to make a statue of myself.
Of you? I was referring to me.
What? Dr. Strange let out a chuckle.
Toss me some emeralds and I'll give you a hand in finishing this thing.
I threw him some emeralds and we both flew to the top of the statue. Dr. Strange flew around and placed blocks, while I jumped around and placed my blocks. I guess a part of me was grateful Loki had teleported all my friends here. It was nice to see them again. It was just too bad my buddy Hulk couldn't actually be here. And just like that, the statue was done. After everything was done, I found myself standing by the base and heard a familiar voice in my head.
Hulk no smash, Hulk less.
Suddenly, a stream of green particles appeared around me, and I gained 10 more hearts. Maybe Hulk had been here all along after all. On days 97 to 98, I had finished my preparations, so I met back up with everyone outside my house. I still had to see what Loki had prepared for me. As I walked up, I saw one of his green portals sparkling next to him.
Well, brother, I must say that I have the best gift for you of all. A portal that leads directly to Gore's base.
Thank you, Loki. I know everyone here wants to help, but this is something I have to do on my own. You've all been amazing friends. If I don't make it, find a way to stop Gore and save Asgard. I took a deep breath and stepped into the portal. On day 99, I appeared on the other side of the portal at the entrance to Gore's base. I was getting ready to enter when I had the sneaking suspicion something was behind me. Whoa, what's that? Some lightning crash and a huge subscribe was floating in the sky. Man, I feel like this word keeps following me around. Oh well, I guess it's just a sign that is heavily suggesting something that someone should do. I don't know about you, but I'd listen to it. I mean, look at all that lightning. But this was no ordinary sign, and that was no ordinary lightning. As I walked into Gore's palace, I could feel something was different. I could see Gore up ahead, but first, I had to get through his band of skeletons. By the power of Thor, eat lightning! I threw Mjolnir, and the nearest skeleton was immediately struck by lightning. My full powers were finally unlocked. The skeletons gave me everything they had, but none of them could stop me. I used every attack I had, throwing Mjolnir, hitting them with lightning, and striking them at close range. Soon, all of the skeletons were defeated, and only Gore and I remained. On day 100, I stood face to face with Gore. You tried, but it's over now. Without warning, Gore attacked. Clearly, he didn't have time for monologues. Why are you doing this? What do you have to gain by attacking Asgard?
It's not just Asgard, it's all the gods. They're all the same. They only care about one thing.
Gore was enraged, and I was having trouble holding him off. One thing? And what's that?
Themselves.
Gore was really starting to do some damage now. We kept fighting, and I was able to get some hits in, but his hits were harder and harder. I was getting down to just a few hearts.
I would offer you mercy, but you don't deserve it. The people of Asgard need to be free from you.
My hearts were nearly gone. Maybe he was right. I should have asked for help in this fight. Why was I so prideful and wanting to do it alone? I only had half of a heart left and couldn't fight anymore.
Any final words?
Just then, I heard a sound behind me, and a green portal appeared. Loki, Spider-Man, and Rocket came running through. What, did you actually think we'd let you have all the fun without us? We're here to help, sir.
Look, here I am, rescuing you again.
Everyone lined up around me. Gore wasn't right about me at all. I've always cared about my friends. Let's do this. We all started to attack Gore. I threw my hammer, Spider-Man unleashed his webs, Rocket shot his rockets, and Loki hit him with his scepter.
You're not like other gods I killed.
That's because I have something worth fighting for. We kept up our attacks, and I could tell Gore no longer stood a chance. With a final swing of my hammer, he was defeated. Good work, everyone. We did it. Now let's get out of here. Loki opened a portal, and we ran back through. Once I had arrived back, everyone was waiting for me. Dr. Strange had opened another portal that would send everyone home. As everyone jumped into the portal and was sent back to their worlds, I thanked them for their friendship. Everyone chose greatness today, and I can't think of a better group of friends.
On day 1, I spawned in as the Hulk. Oh yeah, look at me, I'm incredibly tiny. I was small, but I could still punch pretty hard and jump pretty high. Before I could spend too much time admiring my abilities though, I was attacked by a bunch of baboons. Get away from me, you mad monkeys! I thought about running away, but wait, I was the Hulk. I started swinging my fists. In no time, I had pounded the baboons into the ground. Bet you thought this little green guy was an easy dinner. I decided to go looking for my friends. As I was exploring, I came across a village. While walking the streets, I noticed that it was empty and several of the buildings had been damaged. Wow, I wonder what happened here. I kept exploring but couldn't find any survivors, so I found myself a good house and went to sleep for the night. On day 2, I left the village and entered a nearby forest. Time to start punching trees. I punched down trees until my fists were starting to hurt, then set up a crafting table to make myself some wooden tools. I made all the tools I was going to need, then headed over to a nearby cave. Wood can only get me so far. Better get some stone. In the cave, I managed to find some coal, along with plenty of stone. As I was mining though, I suddenly heard a noise behind me. Ah! The little boy ran off into the cave. He had totally caught me off guard. Hang on a second, come back here. I ran off in the direction he had gone and soon caught up with him. That's when I saw a skeleton was trying to attack him. Hang tight. With my Hulk strength, I managed to take him out. Then I turned to the little boy.
Please don't eat me.
Eat you? Why would I eat you?
So, you're not gonna eat me?
No, of course not. I don't want to hurt anyone. What are you doing down here in this cave?
A big monster came to our village and destroyed it. My mom told me to hide in this cave. The monster reminded me of you, but I guess you're not as big as he was.
Like me? Huh, that's confusing.
But do you think it's safe to go back to the village?
I didn't want to break it to this kid that the village had been completely wiped out, so I didn't. It's still pretty scary out there, so our best bet is just to stay here in the cave. We can go look for your family tomorrow. On day 3, the boy, whose name was Nash, and I headed back to the village. This was going to be awkward. Nash showed me to his house, but it was completely destroyed. He was feeling really sad when suddenly we heard a cry from the inside. Someone is in here! I ran over to a pile of rubble, and underneath I could see a pair of eyes.
It's Mila. That's my big sister.
I quickly cleared out all of the blocks, letting the little girl out of the rubble. Are you okay? What happened here?
I think I'm okay. It was a green monster that attacked us. He was big and scary. Kind of like you, but he didn't have friendly eyes. He ran around our town, destroying everyone and everything in front of him. Our house collapsed, so I don't know if my parents escaped or not.
I'm sorry to hear it. How long has it been?
I don't know. Days have gone by since I've been under here.
Just then, we heard a howl and a group of feral wolves appeared. They must have been scavenging in the abandoned village. Hang on, kids, I'll take care of this. I sprang into action, hitting the wolves. They were vicious as they snapped with their fangs, but I wasn't going to let them hurt these poor kids. Soon enough, I had taken several of them out. It wasn't enough though, as I could hear some more wolves off in the distance. Come on, guys, I don't think I can fight all of them off. Let's get out of here. We ran from the village until we were a safe distance away. It was time to start building us a shelter. First off, I put together a full set of stone tools so I'd have the equipment needed to get any job done. Then I got to work building a simple house for us to stay in. It wasn't anything fancy, as we needed something quick, but at least for now, it was a place to call home. Once the house was finished, I then made several torches and put them outside to stop mobs from spawning. We had survived another day, but who knew what surprises were coming next? On days 4 to 5, I left the kids at the house and went to go look for some food. We weren't going to last out here if we didn't have something to eat. Oh, look, pigs! I had spotted some pigs, so I rushed over and attacked them. I quickly knocked them all out and collected all of their meat. Just then, Black Panther came out of the trees. T'Challa, what are you doing out here?
THOR is a beast that has been destroying the villages in the area. They call him Abomination. I have tried to face him myself, but he was too powerful.
Oh man, if you can't beat him, how can I? I'm so small.
You know, there is a cave near here that contains something I think might help you.
He explained where I needed to go, and so I set off to find what he was talking about. After a bit, I soon found the cave he was describing. As I entered in, I saw what he was talking about. It was gamma radiation. This is what made the Hulk in the first place. I stepped up to it and immediately started to absorb the radiation. I could feel it entering my bloodstream when suddenly I grew bigger and stronger than before. Awesome! I feel like I could beat anything right now. Speaking of which, there was a roar as a Zoglin had just shown up. He must have been absorbing the radiation too. Let's try these new powers out. But much to my disappointment, he was really strong. I was losing the fight. I was taking too much damage and had no choice but to hurry and run away. On days 6 to 8, I had arrived back at the house. That's when I realized I had eaten all the meat I was supposed to bring home. Oh man, the kids are probably hungry. I turned around and headed back out.
Luckily, it didn't take too long, and I quickly found some chickens. This will make a great meal for the kids. I then headed into a nearby mine to try and find some better materials. As I went deeper into the mine, I soon came across some iron. Yes, now I can finally stop using these stone tools. With my pockets full of iron, I headed back to the house for good this time. As I entered the house, the kids were really impressed with how much bigger I had gotten. Unfortunately, they were less impressed with eating raw meat. That's a good point. Let me fix that. I got right to work adding on a kitchen to the house. I'm not sure why I thought feeding them raw meat would be a good idea. I guess I'm just used to being able to eat whatever I want. With the kitchen complete, I got the chicken all cooked up. Now the kids would be able to have a decent meal. With the food all sorted out, I then started smelting down the iron ore. Using my new iron bars, I made myself a brand spanking new set of iron tools, which would be way better than my stone ones. Then I got to it, making some iron armor. I wasn't able to make a full set. I wasn't sure it would be strong enough to take on Abomination, but it would be better than nothing. That's when I realized that none of us had a place to sleep. I then made the kids their own bedrooms, complete with beds in their favorite colors. On days 9 to 10, I woke up to a knock on the door. It was Black Panther.
How are you feeling about your powers now? Abomination is nearby. Perhaps together we can defeat it.
Yeah, together I'm sure we'll have a chance. I followed Black Panther out and across the land. We soon arrived at a seaside village. I could see Abomination rampaging through the town, destroying people and buildings alike. Oh man, he's bigger than I thought he would be. This isn't going to be an easy fight. We couldn't let him to continue to hurt these innocent people though, so I charged down into the village, straight at Abomination. Leave these people alone. Abomination turned and hit me hard. Ouch! I don't care how much you hurt me. I'll never stop fighting you.
Get out of here, you lab experiment. I don't have time for pests like you.
I kept fighting, but it was clear I didn't have a chance. Just as Abomination was ready to finish me off, Black Panther hopped into the fight. He was able to get a few hits in, but it wasn't enough to stop Abomination. He was just too strong. The two of us ran off as Abomination continued his rampage through the village. We had both nearly been defeated, and T'Challa was nearly on the verge of death. Luckily, we made it out of there alive. On days 11 to 12, we arrived back at my base. T'Challa, let me make a room for you to heal up. I quickly got to work making him a fresh new room so he could relax and get his health back up. I soon finished the build, and T'Challa was able to move in. The kids had run in to see him and were very excited. Apparently, they thought he was their new kitty. T'Challa was not amused. Hang out here, guys. I'll see about getting us some food. I started to leave the house, eating our last bit of meat. In the distance, I could hear some spiders. I better take those out before they get too close to the base. I soon came upon the spiders and managed to fight them off without too much trouble. As I picked up the string they dropped, it gave me an idea. If I had some leads, I could get some pigs and raise them at the house. Luckily, I soon came across some slime. I fought the slime, destroying all of its parts. I picked up the slime balls they dropped and then used the ingredients to craft some leads. Time to go pig wrestling. I went searching through the woods and eventually found the pigs I was looking for. Using the newly created leads, I led them back to the base. I then led them into a pen that I had built earlier. Finally, now there will be enough meat for everyone. I wanted to be sure we had some variety though, so I broke some grass to get seeds. I'd also gathered some water in a bucket, so I was all ready to build a farm. I tilled the ground and placed the water, which then let me plant the seeds I had collected. This base is really starting to come along. The only thing I was missing at this point was a statue to really put my mark on the place. Since I was so busy with food, I thought I would make it my favorite food. You'll have to let me know if you can guess what it is. Once I had finished the first part, it had gotten pretty late, and I could see some creepers had started spawning near the base. I better take care of that before they blow everyone to bits. I headed down to the base and knocked out all the creepers. Fighting them was always scary business, but I managed to knock them all out without too much trouble. On days 13 to 15, I decided that I needed to focus on getting more powerful, but I wasn't sure where to start. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Tony, what are you doing here?
I was flying over and saw the statue you were building. Who else would build that other than you? Figured I'd stop in and say hello.
Boy, Tony, you really dropped in at the right time. This abomination has been rampaging through the towns here, and I'm not strong enough to stop him.
Oh, well, I know what you mean. I've had a few scrapes of my own I wasn't sure I was going to get out of. What have you got so far?
Well, I came across some gamma radiation that powered me up, but that's about it.
Well, what are you wasting your time with me for? That's your answer right there. Surely there's more radiation points out there.
You think so? But how could we find them?
Bring me some dirt from the cave. With that, I can build you a detector that will lead you to new deposits. Piece of cake.
I agreed to the plan, but there was just one problem. That Zoglin would still be there. I decided to head back to the caves in order to get some more iron. With the new iron I collected, I brought it back up and smelted it down. Using the iron ingots, I completed the rest of my armor. Alright, let's give this thing a go. I soon reached the cave from before. I think my best bet is going to be trying to sneak. I tiptoed into the cave and saw the perfect block for a dirt sample. I quickly mined it up without any movement by the Zoglin. Looks like I might just make it out of here alive. Just then, I noticed there were some diamonds nearby. It was too good to pass up. I headed over to the diamond and mined it out, but unfortunately, it woke up the Zoglin. Oh boy, here we go. The Zoglin let out a roar and attacked. I was the same level of strength as last time, but I didn't have this much armor back then. The Zoglin was still incredibly powerful, and it was a tough fight. And thanks to my new gear, I was able to take him out and win. On days 16 to 19, I managed to make it back to the base with a sample. sample. Tony needed a lab to work out of and had gotten to work putting it all together. There was some pretty cool stuff going on in there, and after a while, it was all done. Wow, this lab is looking awesome. With the lab complete, Tony could start working on that radiation detector. I could tell he was going to be here for a while though, so I got to work building him a house of his own. It probably wasn't the mansion he was used to, but he would just have to get used to it. As I was finishing the house, Tony came running over to me. He had finished the radiation detector. Oh, Tony, this is gonna help so much. Thank you. It was time to get out there and become even more powerful. On days 20 to 22, I had the detector in my hand and started running off through the woods. As I ran, I almost ran straight into a woodland mansion. The gamma must be underneath this mansion. I'll have to keep my guard up though. This place is dangerous. I walked into the mansion and took a look around. As I walked down the hallways, I was immediately attacked by illagers. Don't mind me, it's just a casual breaking and entering. The illagers started firing off their arrows, and I ran around giving them the old one too. It was tough, but luckily my iron armor was doing enough to protect me. I kept pushing my way through, fighting the illagers off as I went. Eventually, I saw a chest room and started taking a look inside. Oh wow, these materials will be perfect for my statue. What luck! I checked more chests and found even more materials in the chests. As I passed around the room, I saw something floating on a pedestal. Power gloves. I'll bet I can punch super hard now. I kept following the tracker and came across some more illagers. Using my new power glove, I was able to knock them out much faster than before. Boy, am I glad I found this thing. As I continued down the hallway, I soon saw a very strange looking set of stairs. This must be the place. As I reached the bottom, I saw a massive warped mosquito. Hi, wanna move? Suddenly, the mosquito took flight and charged. This dude had clearly been hitting the gym, and his punches were powerful. I had to do a lot of running and hiding to try and stay in the fight. Oh, mosquitoes were already bad enough. Why is this one so much worse? In addition to his punches, he also shot a gross looking liquid at me. I had to end this, and fast. Using the plants as cover, I managed to jump out and get hits in. It took a lot of effort, but eventually I was able to take him out. Now that is how you squish a bug. With the mosquito gone, I headed into the doorway and could see the gamma inside. I stood in place as I absorbed its energy. Suddenly I got a little bigger and gained more hearts. Yes, this will never get old. As I was getting ready to leave the mansion, I caught the scent of a nearby farm, but it was inside. I went down the hallway and saw a room full of carrots. Well, the illagers aren't going to be needing this anymore. I gathered up as many carrots as I could. Now we'd have a more reliable food source. Time to get back to the base. On days 23 to 26, I got right to work planting all the crops I had gotten from the illagers. As I was finishing, I heard Black Panther calling to me.
Well, we don't have more radiation for you. Perhaps we can train you to get you stronger.
Well, I'm sure every little bit will help. I'm in. I headed out behind the house and got to work building a new training course according to T'Challa's instructions. It was looking like it would be a fun course, but certainly challenging. Once the course was complete, T'Challa ran through it to show me how it's done. He made it look really easy. All right, I'll give it a go. I did my best to run through, but definitely made some mistakes. This was going to take some practice to get better. After giving it a few tries, T'Challa suggested that we try fighting. I hope you've got your armor on tight. I'm gonna smash you.
Good luck.
We faced off and started to fight. I was really strong, but I think that was my mistake. The Black Panther was an experienced fighter and was able to get more hits in. In the end, he was able to defeat me. Aw man, looks like I've got a lot of work to do.
Do not worry. Even the smallest seeds can become a mighty tree. You will get there.
On days 27 to 31, I was feeling especially motivated to get stronger. I decided to start looking for some more radiation stations. Okay, let's see where this thing leads me this time. I followed the radiation detector across the land and eventually reached a snowy tundra. It looks like it's pointing me to this cave over here. I didn't see any green glowing, but maybe it was just deep within. I headed deeper into the cave. Suddenly, I was attacked by a bunch of diamond zombies. Leave me alone! I was able to beat them back, but they were much tougher than I thought. I needed that radiation boost more than I realized. I kept going and ran into a whole group of diamond skeletons too. Luckily, some of them shot each other, so they ended up fighting amongst themselves while I took them out. Guess that's what happens when you don't have a brain. The good news was that I was able to spot some diamonds, which I happily mined out. Well, this doesn't make me stronger physically, but it will definitely give me a leg up in a fight. With all the diamonds mined, I headed back up out of the cave. Before I could get too far though, I heard a noise behind me. It was a Yeti. Uh-oh, these guys are strong. The Yeti and I started to fight. I was right, his blows were landing some hard hits. I wasn't sure I could take him, but I had to be strong. I couldn't leave those kids behind. I rose up and started landing blows. I could tell I was going to win. I only needed to land one more hit when suddenly the Yeti let out an ice attack, freezing me in place. He was hurt and ran away to go heal. This is not good. On days 32 to 35, I was still frozen. Luckily, the ice was starting to melt, and I was able to break free. Well, it's a good thing that Yeti left. Now, where was I? I followed my radiation detector, which soon led me to another cave. But look who it was. That Yeti. I know I can beat him, but he's probably just going to freeze me again. But I need that power. I moved closer to him, but before I could start to fight, he spoke.
Wait, don't hurt me. I thought you were the abomination. I can see that you're different, though.
I try to be. What do you know about him?
Not much, other than he destroyed my village. Everyone I know was lost in the battle, and I'm the only one of my kind left.
What a monster. Why do you think he attacked your village?
Well, my village was near a gamma radiation source like the one in this cave. My best guess is that he was trying to get to it.
Oh no, it must power him up too. I've got to get to the radiation before he does. He has to be stopped.
I've been watching this cave to try and stop him in case he shows up, but I trust you to stop him. I'll let you in, but be warned, there's a monster even more powerful inside.
I'll take my chances. I headed into the cave. Soon, I saw what the Yeti had been talking about. Inside, there was a ghost mage. Uh-oh, here we go. The ghost mage charged at me. He wasn't going to make this easy. He looked like he had been waiting here a little too long. I'd be upset too if I didn't have any legs. But hey, at least he could levitate. Get out of my way! I swung as hard as I could, and at long last, the ghost mage was defeated. Now I could finally access the radiation. I stepped up to it and could feel the power enter into me. Soon, I was even stronger than before. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. As I left the cave, I invited the Yeti to come and stay with us. Since his village was destroyed and he no longer had a reason to guard the cave, he happily agreed. On days 36 to 39, I got right to work building the Yeti his own room. Turned out he used to live in a world full of monsters where he would help in their mailroom. He said he got banished to our world. It was all politics. Poor guy. With the Yeti's room complete, I decided to give the base some more upgrades to make it a little safer. We needed to beef up our defenses, just in case Abomination ever found us. Once the defenses were all completed, I was starting to get hungry. That's when I headed over to continue work on my statue. By this point, you've probably got a good idea of what my favorite food is. Leave your guesses in the comments. After a bit, I had finished the second part. That's when Black Panther came running up to me. He said he was impressed by how much bigger I had gotten. He said there was still a lot more work I had to do though, and invited me to do the obstacle course again. I would, but I'm just not very good at it. It's hard to do an obstacle course when there are so many other things I'm trying to get done.
I understand, but it will help you. If you can complete the course, I have an item I believe will help.
Oh, I like the sound of that. I'll have to keep training then. I ran over to the obstacle course and got to work. It was still hard, but I felt like I was doing even better than before. Black Panther encouraged me, even when I fell off and had to try again. I wasn't able to beat it today, but soon enough, I would have to win that prize. On days 40 to 43, I tried to use my radiation detector to find more gamma, but it wasn't working. Oh man, what's up with this thing? I headed over to Tony and asked him what was going on with it. He explained that I must have found all the gamma radiation within range of the detector. So how can we expand the range? Tony told me to wait there and headed into his plane. When he returned, he tossed out some eyes of ender and told me I needed to get some ender pearls. Oh boy, this isn't gonna be easy. I thanked him for his help and started searching for the end portal. My journey led me across the land. At one point, I even came across some diamonds, which I was able to use to finish up an entire set of diamond armor. I'm going to need this in the end for sure. It took a lot of searching, but eventually I made it into the stronghold and soon found myself outside the end portal. I inserted the eyes of ender. Well, here goes nothing. I jumped in. On days 44 to 49, I appeared in the end. Let's get those ender pearls. There were several endermen nearby, and I got right to work chopping them down. These guys were really scary when you looked them in the eyes, but you just had to be brave. I ended up getting into more than I asked for though, and was soon surrounded by them. How was I going to get out of this one? Suddenly, there was a sound above me, and the Scarlet Witch came flying in to help. Together, we were able to take out the rest of the Endermen. Oh, you showed up just in time. I thought I was a goner.
Always happy to help a friend.
Do you know what's going on with the Endermen, though? I noticed that not a single one of them dropped any Ender Pearls.
I have noticed this as well, yes. There is something going on, but I don't know what it is yet.
Well, let's stick together and maybe we can figure this out. She agreed and we continued on through the end. Nearby, there was an end city, so we went to check it out. As we got closer, we saw something terrifying. Look at that Enderman. He's bigger than all of the others. We charged in and started to fight. This Enderman was unlike anything I had ever seen before. He had 4 arms and would clap them together, trying to smash me in them. He would also pick up and throw blocks at me, as well as teleport around. This battle was really tough. With the Scarlet Witch's help, though, we finally managed to take him out. He let out a shriek and exploded in a display of Enderman goop. It was pretty intense. And look, an Ender Pearl. The giant Enderman had left a single pearl behind. The Scarlet Witch told me I should take it, as she had more research she wanted to do in the end. She opened up a portal for me to return to the overworld, so I stepped in to head home. On days 50 to 53, I arrived back at my base. Safely back home, I went over to Tony to give him the Ender Pearl I had collected. He thanked me and got right to work, improving the gamma radiation detector. Suddenly, there was a sound outside. What was that? As I got closer to the sound of the noise, I saw that some Endermen were there. Scarlet Witch must have left the portal open too long. I hurried to defend the base from the Endermen, knocking them out one at a time. Once they were defeated, Scarlet Witch came through the portal.
Oh, I am sorry about that. I have been in the end for so long, I forgot to close my portal.
That's okay. Good luck with your research. She thanked me and headed back into the end. On days 54 to 57, I decided to go find Black Panther to do some training. What I found instead, though, was a note. Meet me in the woods north. Huh, I wonder
wonder what he's up to this time. I went north and soon found Black Panther, as well as a giant circle of stones. What's this all about?
Pay attention. This circle will summon a mystical monster. Defeat it, and you will receive a special item.
I stepped into the ring, and soon a magma monster appeared. He didn't seem like he was too tough, and that's because he wasn't. I jumped around and managed to take him out pretty easily. Is that all you wanted me to do? That was easy.
Turn around.
I turned around and saw a much bigger magma monster. Uh-oh. This guy was way stronger than the other one, and I was taking a beating. Why didn't T'Challa just have me fight this guy the first time? I felt like my training was paying off though, and soon I was winning. I got into position and managed to land the final blow, taking him out completely. Got him. Alright, now where's that special reward? Or is there another monster behind me? Black Panther chuckled and suddenly a ring of fire appeared in the arena. I stepped into it and picked up an enchanted pair of diamond boots. Wow, these have feather falling 4 on them. Now I can survive huge falls. I thanked T'Challa for his help, then left to go back to the base. On days 58 to 62, I was arriving back at the base when I saw someone standing on top of it. Who is that? As I got closer, I could see it was the Red Hulk. Hey, what do you think you're doing here?
The Abomination knows what you're doing. There's only enough room for one big green guy in this world, and that's not you.
We'll see about that. We charged into the base, but were suddenly attacked by a group of red crabs. What the? Where did all of these guys come from? The crabs weren't very strong, but there were a lot of them. We were so distracted by the crabs, we didn't notice Red Hulk had snuck around the walls and into Tony's lab. We soon defeated all of the crabs, but there was one question on our minds. Where did Red Hulk go? We ran around the base and soon saw the house he had run into. He had managed to break into the lab. Tony quickly ran around to check if anything was stolen.
Bad news, big guy. The gamma radiation detector is gone.
Oh no, now Abomination will be able to find all the sources before me. There's no way I'll be able to beat him without it. Suddenly, I realized something else was missing too. The kids! We ran around the base and eventually saw them hiding under a desk. They were scared, but unharmed. It's okay, guys. It's safe now. Don't worry. I promise I will always protect you no matter what.
Now that everyone is safe, follow me. I can use my tracking abilities to find where the Red Hulk ran to.
Let's go! On days 63 to 66, Black Panther and I were tracking Red Hulk's path. Soon, I could see a large tower in the distance. That must be it. Hang back and I'll go take care of this. I made my way over to the tower and entered in. I was immediately attacked by a bunch of red crabs. Get your pincy pincers away from me! I managed to clear out all of the crabs on the ground floor and started running up the stairs. What a weird place to call home. As I reached the top, I saw Red Hulk was waiting for me.
I guess I should have gotten rid of that little cat man. But no matter, you'll never defeat me.
Bring it on! Red Hulk and I charged at each other, exchanging blows. It was a different fight entirely to be punching someone who was just as strong as me. You should be helping us. You are a Hulk after all.
Big deal. I'm here for the strongest, and that's never going to be you.
His hits were getting harder, and I was almost out of health. Suddenly, there was a flash of light, and Scarlet Witch appeared.
Someone needs to be taught a lesson.
Scarlet Witch started firing energy at Red Hulk, which had totally caught him off guard. We were winning! We may have been too confident though, because even though Scarlet Witch could fly, she got a little too close.
Gotcha!
Red Hulk landed a hit, knocking her out of the sky, down toward the ground. No, you'll pay for that! My blood began to boil, and I suddenly grew in size, becoming even stronger than before. I charged at the Red Hulk, smacking him again and again. He tried to fight back, but it was no use. Soon, he was defeated. I can't believe Scarlet Witch had to die. I'll never forget her. On the ground was the gamma radiation detector, which I happily picked up. I ran back down and out of the tower. Waiting on the other side was Black Panther and Scarlet Witch. What? I thought you were gone.
What do you mean? I thought you knew I could fly. You knocked me down, but I caught myself. It seemed like you had it from there.
Right, that makes sense. Well, I got stronger. Let's go. On day 67 to 70, we returned back to my base and got right to work building a place for the Scarlet Witch to stay. I was so happy to find out she survived the fight. That was way too close for comfort. I soon finished her place. Then I went on to build something for the kids. I couldn't believe Red Hulk was able to get into our base so easily. No wonder the kids were scared. If it had been the Abomination, things could have gone much worse. Soon, I finished building them their very own playroom. My armor had taken a beating in the fights, so I went over to Tony to give him supplies to fix it up. He was happy to help, so I set off to work on the statue. I then headed outside to finish up the next part of the statue. I'm sure you've guessed what it is by now, a hamburger. It's definitely one of my favorite foods. What's yours? Soon, the next part of my burger was complete. On day 71 to 74, I was having a horrible dream. I'd finally found Abomination, but something was wrong. He kept getting bigger and bigger, while I kept getting smaller and smaller. I wasn't going to be able to beat him. I woke up in a cold sweat. Oh, what's going on, kids?
Sorry to wake you up, but we wanted to tell you thank you.
Yeah, even though the base was attacked, we've never felt safer. We know you'll always do what you can to protect us.
I assured them that that would always be true. I believed myself when I said it, but I couldn't help but feel nervous about the fight ahead. On day 75 to 78, I felt more motivated than ever to get stronger in order to protect my friends. Alright, let's see where a boosted detector takes me this time. I followed the arrow and soon found myself back in the forest where I had been training with Black Panther. It led me to the summoning circle, which suddenly transported me to the Nether. Whoa, whoa! As I arrived, I saw tons of Mago monsters who attacked. Jeez, all my friends really need to work on their portal management skills. These guys could have come through. I kept fighting and was able to get through the Mago monsters. That's when I noticed there was some ancient debris nearby. Oh, excellent! I'll be able to upgrade my armor and tools to netherite with this. On days 79 to 84, I was still following my detector through the Nether. I could tell I was close. But before I could go much farther, Abomination came out of nowhere.
Well, thanks for being my guide. Looks like this is my stop.
Your guide? What?
Huh, all that muscle and so dumb. Didn't even realize I was following you this whole time. With this radiation, I'll finally be at my full form.
No! I charged at him, but even without his final form, he knocked me out of the way, no problem. I was in big trouble. He took off and went into the volcano. All I could do was watch as the volcano started to erupt. What did he do? Suddenly, a giant abomination came leaping from the volcano and landing right in front of me.
Now I am truly powered up. Your little adventure ends here.
I knew I didn't stand a chance in this fight, so all I could do is run. I turned as Abomination started chasing me through the Nether. I had no idea if I was going to get away.
Come back here, weakling. I'm going to crush you.
I ran and ran, but suddenly I came to a giant cliff.
Time to say goodbye.
Goodbye. I jumped. On days 85 to 89, I was still falling. After what felt like forever, I landed in a pool of water, in a jungle. How in the world did I get here? Suddenly, a crocodile came out of nowhere and attacked. It was just a few punches, and I took him out in no time. It felt good to be able to be on the winning end of a fight again. All right, where am I? I've got to get back to the base. I took a look at the surrounding area and realized I wasn't far from my base. But thankfully, Abomination didn't follow me. I should be home in no time. As I arrived back at my base, I went to talk to Tony to tell him everything that had happened. So yeah, now I don't know how I'll be able to beat him.
Well, there might be one more gamma spot you could use. I didn't mention it before because it's pretty hard to get to.
Where do I need to go? I'll do whatever it takes.
It's deep inside of the earth. Give me some time to improve the detector, and I'll be able to lead you right to it.
There wasn't a whole lot for me to do but wait, so I decided to use the time to finish the hamburger statue. I know it was kind of a strange thing to build, but there was something about a giant hamburger that just gave me a sense of normalcy in this crazy world. Soon, the statue was complete. On days 90 to 94, I went to visit Black Panther. All right, T'Challa, today's the day. I'm going to beat your obstacle course.
You are already strong enough, my friend. You don't need to prove anything on the obstacle course.
I have to prove it to myself. Besides, I want to win that item you mentioned.
Ah yes, the item. Go on then.
I ran to the course and got right to it. I could get all the strength and muscle in the world, but if I couldn't triumph a test of will, what good was it? The obstacle course was still as hard as ever, but my friends believed in me, and I had to win. Before I knew it, I had beaten the course. Yes, I did it!
Well done, well done. Here is your prize, as promised.
Black Panther tossed out a hammer. Is that Mjolnir? Thor's hammer? I picked it up. Wait, I picked it up.
It's just a replica. I may have made it sound cooler than it was going to be. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I actually really like it. It reminds me of my friend. If only he could be here too. That's when I had an idea. I headed over to the hamburger statue and started to make some adjustments. I decided to add a helmet and some arms. It wasn't my friend, but I was happy to have a reminder of him. I was admiring my statue when suddenly Thor appeared. Thor, what are you doing here? Well, I'm not really there. I'm just kind of there. But the real question is, why did you make me a hamburger? It's a long, hungry story. Don't worry about it. Sure. Say, we do sound a lot alike, don't we? Well, that's because I spent 100 days as you before. Oh yeah, that was awesome. Everyone should go watch that video next. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, good luck on your upcoming fight. I know you'll smash it. Nice, you're always so funny. Talk to you soon. Thor disappeared. Time to go check on that new detector. On days 95 to 97, I went to Tony's to see if he had finished the detector. As I entered, it looked like something was wrong. Tony, what's going on? Tony was floating in a water tank on life support. I took a look around and saw a note lying on the table. What was going on? Only thing that could give the detector enough juice was my arc reactor. I will hang out here till then. He's risking his life for me to find this. I can't let him down. Before I could leave though, I had to go say goodbye to the kids. They thanked me for giving them a safe place to live and wished me luck in my battle against the Abomination. As a final gesture, they gave me a piece of jewelry to remember them by. Now there's just one thing left to do. Using all of the ancient debris I had collected in the Nether, I managed to make some netherite scraps. Then I used that to make some netherite ingots. Finally, I was able to upgrade all of my equipment to netherite. On day 98, I had reached the Badlands. The detector had been steady so far, so I knew I had to be getting close. Okay, it looks like this is the spot. Man, how deep do I need to go? Just then, there was a giant scary bug, and he looked hungry. Buzz off, bug boy. The bug was a vicious little, well, big spider. I had never met something so determined to end me. The only way a bug could be this big has to be because of the radiation. I kept swinging my fist, and was eventually able to knock him out. All right, let's level up for the last time. I stepped up to the radiation and nothing happened. What's going on? I'm not absorbing the radiation. That's when I realized I never was absorbing radiation to get bigger. Every time I had gotten bigger, it was because I was angry about a friend being in danger. I took a look at the locket the kids had given me. Inside of the locket was a picture of the kids with their now missing parents. The abomination has taken so much away from everyone I care about. I have to be stronger. I was so angry about it that I started to feel the power flowing into me, and I was about to grow bigger than ever before. On day 99, it came bursting from the ground in my final giant form. And look how many hearts I have. Time to find the abomination. That's when I noticed that the detector could find other gamma radiation users. Man, Tony thought of everything. I flicked the switch and saw it was pointing at me. Wait, that's not right. I flicked it again and it pointed another direction. Oh no, it's pointing to my base. I took off running. My friends were going to be in trouble. Back at the base, there was an explosion outside the walls. The kids hurried and ran under the desk for cover.
Here he comes, Wanda. Get ready.
Abomination came breaking through the wall as Scarlet Witch and Black Panther tried to hold him off. They were doing their best, but he was too strong. As I got closer to the base, I could see the fight was intense. I hurried and jumped in.
Nice of you to join us.
Couldn't let you guys have all the fun.
How about you two shut it and let me pound you into the ground?
We'll see about that. We continued to fight as the abomination exploded more and more of the base. We had to win, but he was too strong. He kept knocking us back. Suddenly, there was an explosion, and the side of the children's room exploded. Help! Oh, now you've got me really angry, and you won't like me when I'm angry. A surge of energy came into me, and I grew even bigger than I thought was possible. Hulk smash! I started swinging, punching the heck out of the abomination.
What? How? Where did this come from?
The abomination was really backing down now. I punched and punched. Then at long last, he was defeated. Goodbye for good. We took a moment to celebrate our victory. But wait, what about the children? We rushed over to the house and found the kids under the desk. Oh, thank goodness you're okay. They laughed and cried out of happiness. They gave me a hug and I started to calm down. As I calmed down, I shrunk back to a more normal size. The danger was gone. On day 100, we took time to rebuild the base. The danger was gone, but who knows when it would strike again. But when it did, we would be waiting, and we would be ready. On day 1, I spawned in as a zebra. Wow, I'm so little and I only have 3 hearts. I need to be extra careful. I looked around and saw some antelope. Then I heard someone calling me.
Zozo, you're here. We love you so much.
I turned and saw 2 zebras running over to me. These must be my parents. They nuzzled me with their noses. Oh, I love you guys too. Then out of nowhere, a savannah jeep sped by. A human dressed like a hunter jumped out and started capturing the animals.
Run, Zozo.
My parents leaped in front of me so I could have a chance to escape. I ran away and hid behind some rocks. I watched helplessly as the hunter caught my parents and put them in the back of his jeep. I was too little to do anything and I felt really sad. I barely had any time with my parents and now they're gone. I couldn't just wait around though. It was getting dark and I needed a safe place to stay for the night. I dug a little hole for myself behind the rocks and went to sleep. On day 2, I woke up confused. I was in a hole all alone. Then I remembered my parents and I felt sad again. I climbed out of the hole only to be attacked by some snakes. Oh no! I didn't have any weapons, so I had to dodge and run away. They chased after me, but I started to cross a river and they stopped. Phew, that was close. The water was really strong, but I finally managed to get to the other side. I really need to make some weapons for myself, otherwise I'll be snake food. I went to work gathering some materials to make myself tools. Once I had collected plenty of stone, I put up a crafting table and used it to make a full set of stone tools. It wasn't much, but it made me feel a little bit better. This'll just have to do for now. I figured I shouldn't cross the river again, so I found a spot near a tree and made myself a little shelter for the night. It's okay, Mom and Dad. I'll find you. I promise. And with that, I fell asleep. On day 3, I woke up feeling hopeful. I knew I could find my parents. I just needed a little bit of help. I'm sure someone knew where the hunter kept the animals he captured. I set out across the savannah when I noticed a baboon getting attacked by a boar.
Someone help me!
The baboon screamed and tried to run away, but the boar was too much for him. I'll help you! I jumped into action, distracting the boar while the baboon attacked. We managed to defeat him, and we jumped for joy. Not bad for the little guys. Hey, I'm Zozo. What's your name?
I'm Barry. Thanks for saving my life. I owe you one.
No problem. Hey, do you know where I can find the hunter that keeps trapping animals? He got my parents and I could use some help getting them out.
I can try. The hunter caught my family too. I followed him to his base, but it's basically impossible to get inside. Maybe we can do it together?
Sounds like a plan. But first, we should rest up. You can come live at my hut with me if you want. It'll be safe there.
That sounds great.
Barry and I headed back to my house and I made him a little hut right next to mine. It was small, but it was better than living in a hole. Good night, Barry.
Good night, Zozo.
On days 4 to 5, Barry and I made some adjustments. We set up a perimeter to our base and made our huts a little bit bigger. We also found some seeds so we could plant some food. It was actually starting to feel a little bit more like a home.
Let's go hunt a hunter.
Barry tried to look scary as he said it, but it sounded a little silly.
Too much?
Yeah, too much. He shrugged and we headed out. We passed through the desert and made our way further into the jungle. We crouched down as we approached the hunter's fort. It was huge, but I didn't see any guards. Just then, a bunch of baboons came running toward us. At first we thought they were going to be friendly, but then they started to attack us. Oh no, Barry, we need to run! We ran as fast as we could and eventually the baboons stopped chasing us. Why were those baboons attacking us? We're not the bad guys.
I think the hunter can control the animals somehow. He wants us to be his servants.
That's terrible. Were any of those baboons your family?
No, I didn't recognize them. My family must be inside somewhere.
We started to head home so we could reassess our situation when we saw a human up ahead. Oh no, it's another human. He's probably working with the hunter. We started to run away, but he called out to us.
Hello, friends. No need to run. All I want is to take your picture.
He held up his camera. He seemed harmless enough and he approached us slowly.
My name is Patrick. Could I perhaps stay with you so I can get some good shots?
Sure. You'll be safer with us than out by yourself. Maybe you can help us get our families back from the hunter. Patrick took our picture.
I would be happy to help you. The more animals, the more pictures.
Then he showed us one of his pictures. We went home and helped Patrick to build a little house for himself. He seemed to really love it and took pictures of everything. Eventually, we all got tired and went to sleep. On days 6 to 8, I woke up to Patrick taking pictures of me.
Beautiful. Even when you are drooling, you look great.
He printed out the picture on his Polaroid.
Here, take a look.
I looked at the picture. It had me drooling, along with some weird symbols underneath. Maybe it's a weird human thing. Patrick left to go take pictures of the rocks when Barry walked in. I don't know if we can do this, Barry. We are just a small zebra, a baboon, and a very odd human. We are going to need a lot more help in order to free our families.
I think I know someone who could help. It'll take a little while to get there, but he's our best shot.
All right, let's go. We headed out, leaving Patrick to keep watch of the base. We made our way across the savannah. It was really hot, but we finally made it to an oasis with a watering hole and trees. There were elephants everywhere.
He's over there. He doesn't like strangers. Let me talk to him first.
Barry turned toward a large tree where an elephant was sitting on a rug. Barry walked over and chatted with him for a minute before waving me over.
Welcome, my young friend. What is it you seek?
We want to rescue our families from the hunter. He has captured a lot of innocent animals and he needs to be stopped. The elephant nodded.
Yes, I know the perfect artifact that will help you. It is a necklace with the tooth of a lion. It has been lost, but rumor has it that it is buried at the base of a secret underground waterfall. Find the waterfall, and you'll find your necklace.
How is a necklace going to help us?
Yes, it has the power to give you the strength of 10 men, or in your case, zebras.
Oh wow, thanks so much. Barry and I were much happier as we went home. We could finally defeat the hunter. On days 9 to 10, we arrived back at the base. Patrick was taking pictures of some hippos he had befriended.
Wow, what magnificent creatures.
We talked to the hippos and found out that the hunter had taken some of their family too. We offered to make them a little enclosure in our base. After finishing up, they were very happy and thanked us for taking them in. I went out to go gather some materials and maybe locate the waterfall. I went back to the river because maybe the waterfall was close by. I crossed the river and saw the snakes that I had met before. Get back, you noodles! I smacked them and was able to defeat all of them. I really have gotten stronger. Maybe it won't be so hard to beat the hunter after all. On days 11 to 12, I kept exploring. I found a rock formation and inside of it was a cavern. I found some more materials and decided to go a little bit deeper. As I went down further, I was suddenly attacked by some nasty spiders. Oh, gross, none of that! I got a few hits in, but I defeated them all pretty quickly. It was then that I felt a surge of power and I transformed into a bigger zebra. Whoa, I feel amazing. I feel like I can take on anything. I continued down the cavern, hoping to find the waterfall, but there was nothing. I felt sad about that, but at least I'm stronger now. I made my way out of the cavern and headed back to the base. On days 13 to 15, I was making my way back to the base when the hunter drove by in his Jeep.
I'll be back for you, Zozo, right after I collect your little friends.
I was so confused. How did he know my name? What did he mean about my friends? He drove away really fast and I tried to catch up, but it was hopeless. By the time I got back to the base, I realized what the hunter meant. All of my friends were gone. He must have captured all of them, but how did he get in? I looked around and found Patrick's camera on the ground. The last picture he took was of the hunter shaking hands with Barry. Traitor! Barry sold us out! I was so tired from my journey that I barely made it to my bed before I fell asleep. On days 16 to 19, I woke up discouraged. I figured I needed to move my base, so I went about collecting some stuff. I was looking around the hippo enclosure when I noticed Patrick hiding behind a rock. Patrick, you're okay.
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just so grateful that I was able to hide before that awful hunter took everyone away. I can't believe Barry made a deal with him.
I know, it's crazy. But hey, I found your camera. I thought you might want it back. Patrick was so happy, he took a bunch of pictures of me. Then we went to scout out a new spot for our base. We worked on clearing out an area near some trees and started to build from the ground up. I built everything I thought we could need, and even a little bit of extra just to keep us safe. I sure hoped no one would attack us because it was a lot of hard work. Soon, everything was complete. Patrick, we need to do all that we can to protect the animals on the savannah. I think we should build some sort of statue that will help them know that they can come here for refuge.
I think that's a great idea, Zozo.
We started to gather some supplies and built the base of the statue. Can you tell what it might be? On days 20 to 22, Patrick and I went looking for the underground waterfall that the elephant had told us about. We followed the river up a little ways before running into a pack of lions. We didn't know if they were friendly or not, so we approached slowly. Hello, have you seen any underground waterfalls anywhere? The lions seemed nice enough, but they were looking confused.
Waterfall? Why are you looking for a waterfall?
We were told by a wise elephant that we could find a special necklace buried at the base of the underground waterfall. It's actually a lion's tooth. The lions looked even more confused.
There is no such thing. If anyone would know, it would be us.
Now it was my turn to be confused. Then I realized it was the elephant that told me about the necklace. An elephant that Barry knew. It must have been all made up. Come on, Patrick, we need to go find that elephant and see what he actually knows. Patrick finished taking pictures of the lions, and we headed to the oasis. Once we arrived, we noticed that all of the elephants were gone. Oh no, what are we going to do?
I think I actually hear something over there.
Patrick pointed to a large rock formation, and sure enough, an elephant was hiding. It was the elephant we had talked to before. Hey you, we need some answers. The elephant trembled. He actually looked pretty scared. Please don't hurt me. My family was captured by that awful hunter. Barry told me if I lied to you, the elephants would be safe. He's a traitor. The elephant looked really shaken up. I felt bad for him. I understand how you feel. Barry betrayed us too, and now the hunter has our friends and my parents. But if you come with us, you can have a safe home at our base. The elephant perked up. Oh, thank you. I would love to come with you. Of course. I don't think I know your name though. I'm Zozo. I'm Neville.
Nice to meet you, Neville. We'll take care of you.
We headed back to the base and made it home just in time for the sun to set. On days 23 to 26, I went to make some improvements to our base. I added some new fencing, a large garden, and fixed up a place for the elephant to stay. He seemed pretty happy about it, but I was feeling a little discouraged.
What's wrong, Zozo? You've done a great job with the base. No way anyone is going to get inside.
It's not that. I'm just upset that the lion's tooth necklace isn't real. It was my only hope to get my parents and friends back.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Zozo, but guess what? The necklace is real.
What? Then you didn't lie to us. We still have a chance to save my family.
Well, it is real. It's just not a lion's tooth necklace. It's a special totem. It has the ability to turn you invisible, but it only works on those with pure intentions.
That's perfect. It's going to be easy now.
I guess I should also mention, the totem is guarded by a crocodile. Nobody can get past him.
Between the three of us, I'm sure we can get the totem. Using the materials I had on hand, I made some weapons and armor for the whole team. Then I went ahead and passed them out to everyone. We were ready to fight. We locked the base up and headed out towards the river. On days 27 to 31, Patrick, Neville, and I went looking for the crocodile. We passed a group of hogs on the way, and they tried to attack Patrick.
Hey, I only wanted a picture.
He tried to run away, but they kept getting hits on him. Neville and I charged at them, and after a minute, we defeated all of them. Great job, Neville. No way is the crocodile going to get us. We started to head out when we noticed Patrick wasn't following. He was looking down at his feet. Hey, are you okay, Patrick?
I just feel pretty sad. All I've done is hide or run away. I couldn't even save any of our friends earlier, and it just makes me feel useless.
You're not useless, Patrick. You're a friend, and you've helped more than you know. We all have different strengths. Just use your strengths. Patrick seemed cheered up by this and nodded his head.
Thanks, Zozo. You really are a good friend.
Patrick hugged me, and then Neville hugged us. It was a little squished, but it was a nice little moment. Neville even managed to take a selfie with Patrick's camera. Nice! We kept trekking through the savannah, all feeling a little bit better about ourselves. On days 32 to 35, we finally reached a watering hole. This is the watering hole, but I don't see the crocodile. I looked around, and sure enough, it looked empty. Maybe he went to go hunt somewhere else. When all of a sudden, there was a commotion. I felt something try to grab me, and I ran out as fast as I could. Whoa, that was close. It was the crocodile, all right. He was just super stealthy.
How dare you disturb me? Can't you see I'm resting?
We didn't mean to disturb you. We just want the totem you're guarding.
And why would I give it to you?
There was a hunter driving through the savannah, capturing innocent animals. He's captured our family and friends. We only want the totem so we can defeat him.
How do I know you deserve it? You could just be lying to me.
Well, if I didn't deserve it, then it wouldn't work anyway, right? The crocodile paused.
I suppose that is true, but I can't just let you take it. You have to earn it. Bring me the golden apples off of the tree on that hill, then you can have the totem.
The crocodile pointed toward the hill. On top was a small tree. All right, we'll do it for you.
Not all of you, only you, little zebra. Prove to me that you are worthy.
I wasn't sure I could do it myself, but I had to try. A lot of animals were counting on me. Okay, I'll go. I headed up the hill to retrieve the golden apples. On days 36 to 39, I made my way up the hill. But it wasn't just a hill, it was a mountain. Wow, this is a lot taller than I thought. I finally made it to the top and saw the apple tree. Whoa, that tree is bigger than I thought too. How was I going to reach all those apples? Just then, a monkey with a fancy robe appeared right in front of me.
Hello, traveler. Come to retrieve some apples, yes?
Yes, the crocodile down the mountain needs them.
Ah, yes. It's been a while since he has sent someone up here to retrieve some. The last wasn't so lucky.
What the heck does that mean?
I I shall present a scenario to you, and then you must answer a question. Answer correctly, and the apples are yours. Answer incorrectly, and you will die.
Wait, die? Are you serious?
Here is the scenario. Two monkeys are traveling together down the bank of the river when they see a banana lying on the ground. It seems to be a normal banana. They look across the river and see a tree. In the tree is a third monkey. He seems to be gathering bananas. One of the traveling monkeys says to his friend that they should take the banana on the ground, since the monkey in the tree is already harvesting bananas. How should the friend respond?
I thought about it for a moment. They shouldn't take the banana. It's not theirs to take. The monkey nodded and smiled.
You are correct, young zebra. In fact, if they had taken the banana, they would have taken the only good banana, since the ones being gathered were indeed rotten. They would have taken the only banana that the third monkey could have found for days. He would have starved if he didn't have that banana. These are yours for the taking.
Wow, thank you.
Stay true to yourself and remember what is most important.
I thanked him again and he disappeared, along with the tree. Whoa, where did they go? I didn't know, but I didn't want the apples to disappear too. I hurried to collect them before heading down the mountain. On days 40 to 43, I arrived at the base of the mountain. My friends had set up a little camp next to the watering hole. I went over to the watering hole where the crocodile was barely visible. I retrieved the golden apples, just like you asked.
You've done well.
The crocodile submerged for a moment before returning with a rock in his mouth.
Use it well, young zebra. You have earned it.
On the outside of the rock were those strange symbols, just like the ones in the picture Patrick took of me. Maybe it wasn't just a human thing after all. I twisted open the rock and saw the totem. There it is. I better hurry back to the camp. As I arrived back to the camp, Patrick tried to take a picture of me, but I immediately activated the totem and turned invisible.
Whoa, Zozo, where did you go?
He took a picture of nothing because I was gone. I walked behind him and then deactivated the totem. I'm right here, Patrick.
Wow, that's amazing. That hunter doesn't stand a chance.
On days 44 to 49, we traveled back to the base. Patrick and Neville went to the river while I went to look for some food. We had been walking a long time and needed a rest. We even found some nearby plants we could eat. All of a sudden, a horde of boars came out from behind the plants. Oh, sorry, are these your plants? Without a moment's hesitation, they started to attack me. Hey, I just wanted some food. You don't need to hurt me. I managed to dodge and defeat all of them by myself. Just then, I felt a surge of power and I leveled up into an adult zebra. Wow, I'm a lot bigger now. I noticed that I had more hearts too. I felt like I was the strongest zebra in the world. Taking down that hunter was going to be super easy. I went back to my friends and we talked about our plans. I think we should continue to build our statue once we get back and then gather some supplies for better weapons.
That's a great idea, Zozo. You can teach me to fight better so I can help you.
Yeah, we'd love to help with the statue. We need as many animals as possible to know that they have a safe place to stay.
I agreed and we headed the rest of the way back to the base. On days 50 to 53, we arrived at the base. Using more of our supplies, Patrick, Neville, and I got to work on the next part of the statue. It was really starting to come along. Can you guess what it is now? It was looking really good, so we took a break and tried to work on our base. We set up some new enclosures just in case we had more animals come by. We felt really good about our progress when we heard a knock at the door. I looked outside and there were a bunch of lions. Hey, you're the lions we met earlier.
Yes, hello. We saw your statue and wanted to know if we could stay here. Some of our friends were taken by the hunter, and we have nowhere else to go. Could we stay here with you?
Of course. We opened the door and the lions sauntered in. We showed them one of the enclosures we built and they loved it. They immediately made themselves at home.
Thank you so much. We would love to give you a gift as a token of our appreciation.
One of the lions gave me some diamonds and gold as a present. Wow, this is incredible. Thank you so much. I immediately began working with the diamonds at my crafting table and made myself some better armor. Wow, this is amazing. That night, we all gathered around the campfire and had a fun time. Patrick even tried to juggle for us. It was a good way to end the night. On days 54 to 57, I woke up to someone screaming. I raced out of my house to find animals running around like crazy. I noticed that the base's front door was open and there were hyenas running around. Oh no, we've got to get them out of here. The lions and I were able to defeat some of them and drive the rest of them away. Phew, that was close. But how did they get in? One of the lions stepped forward, his head hung low.
I am so sorry, Zozo. I went out during the night to do some hunting and I must have forgotten to close the door all the way when I came back in. You can kick me out if you want to. I deserve it.
He looked so upset, but I knew it was an accident. It's okay. Nobody got hurt and nothing was taken, so we are okay. He seemed relieved and we all headed back to our houses. When I walked inside, it looked like one of my chests had been opened. I ran over and I realized my totem of invisibility was gone. Oh no! Neville heard me from outside and peeked in.
Is everything okay, Zozo?
No, my totem is gone. Those hyenas must have taken it.
Oh no, we need to get it back, and fast.
We told Patrick what had happened and he agreed to come with us to find the hyenas.
I think I might even know where they live. I saw them once near a cavern, and I tried to take a picture, but they tried to eat me. So I ran ran away.
That's awesome, Patrick. Not the almost getting eaten part, the knowing where to go part. He nodded and smiled.
I know.
I talked to the lions before we left and told them to let in any other animals that needed help. They agreed, and we headed toward the cavern to retrieve my totem. On days 58 to 62, we traveled toward the cavern that Patrick told us about. We ran into some Dagoos on the way and told them to go to our base if they wanted a safe place to stay. They happily agreed. We also ran into some ostriches and some frogs. We extended the same invite to them as the other animals, and they accepted. Wow, I hope we have enough space for everybody. The whole savannah wouldn't be able to fit in our base, but we could sure try. We kept traveling and gathered some food and seeds as we went. We were going to have a lot more mouths to feed when we got back. We finally arrived at the cavern, but it looked empty.
Are you sure this is the right place, Patrick?
Yes, see, look.
I picked up something off the ground in the middle of some tall grass.
This is the lens that I dropped before. I was too scared to come back for it, so I just left it.
We continued into the cavern, which eventually turned into a large underground cave. We peered over a rock and saw the hyenas down below. There were a ton of them. Some of them were just lounging around, but some were fighting over something. I took a closer look and realized it was my totem. Hey, they have my totem! I whispered to my friends and motioned toward the group of hyenas.
There are so many of them. How are we ever going to get your totem back?
I thought for a minute and then came up with a plan. I whispered it to my friends and we got into our positions. 1, 2, 3, now! Patrick started flashing his camera from the opening of the tunnel. The hyenas all saw the lights and went running towards Patrick. He hurried and hid behind a rock by the opening as all the hyenas came rushing out. Neville came out from behind his rock and tried to roll a large stone in front of the entryway. I ran out from behind my rock and went down to grab the totem that the hyenas had dropped in the chaos. Got it! I ran up to see Neville struggling with the rock. The hyenas were trying to push it back open.
Zozo, can you turn us invisible? Then we can sneak out.
There's too many of them. Even if we're invisible, they'll bump into us and find us.
Go and defeat the hunter, Zozo. Make sure all the animals are safe.
Neville, what are you saying? Don't do it! Neville then pushed the rock out of the way and ran outside. No, Neville! Neville ran outside as the hyenas chased him, getting hits in. There was no way he was going to survive. I hurried and had Patrick climb on my back, and then I activated the totem. We both disappeared, and we ran. We watched as Neville was defeated. We had to get out of there. We had no choice but to leave. On day 63 to 66, we arrived back at the base. Patrick and I were very sad that Neville was gone, but we were going to make sure his sacrifice wasn't in vain. I had my totem, and there was no way I was going to let anyone steal it again. I made an even better safe and hid that in a secret spot in my room. Nobody would ever find it here. We helped all the animals in their new homes and planted some more food in the garden. We went to work on the statue, but noticed it was already finished. Who finished the statue?
We did.
The lions came up to me and all bowed at my feet.
We owe you our lives, young zebra. We hope you accept our work on your statue as a way to show our gratitude.
Wow, it's not every day that the king of the savannah bows to you. Thank you, but I'm not the true hero. Neville sacrificed himself so that I could get the totem back. You should be honoring him.
Then we shall honor our fallen friend and build a statue of him as well.
We all worked together and made a statue of Neville standing on the landing of our other statue. He was raising his trunk in triumph. It was perfect, and I knew Neville would have liked it. On day 67 to 70, I woke up to Patrick taking pictures of me again.
Wonderful.
Patrick, not now. I'm trying to sleep.
Sorry, but I had a thought, Zozo. What if the totem gets stolen again? Or even lost while we are inside the base? We definitely need a backup plan. We should scout out the base, just in case.
That's a really good idea, Patrick.
Perfect. I'll meet you outside. Don't forget your totem, just in case.
He left, and I looked toward my safe. I actually felt safer with it here, so I didn't bring it. I would tell him later. We gathered the animals to let them know we were leaving. We told them that if any animals came by, they were more than welcome to stay, unless they were hyenas. And don't forget to shut the door all the way. One of the lions looked away in embarrassment, but he understood. All right, we will be back in time to make some final preparations. Then we will get our friends and families back. Everyone cheered to that, and we took off. On the way there, Patrick took some pictures while I gathered some seeds. We also ran into some small monkeys. We told them where our base was, and they started to head that way. It felt good to know that we were helping. On days 71 to 74, Patrick and I snuck around to the same spot where Barry and I had been earlier. We looked around the base, and it seemed bigger than the last time.
I can't believe it.
I looked where Patrick was looking, and I saw Barry. It looked like he had gotten bigger. There were other baboons there, and Barry seemed to be bossing them around. He sold us out so he could be the boss of the baboons?
Well, I guess so.
I still couldn't believe it. Barry had been my friend, and he seemed genuinely interested in helping me.
Hey, Zozo, I'm glad you are my friend.
Thanks, Patrick. Where did that come from?
I was just thinking, and you've been really awesome to me. Just wanted to thank you for everything you've done.
Then Patrick hugged me. Thanks, Patrick. All of a sudden, we were surrounded by baboons. How did I not even notice?
Right on time.
I looked and I saw Barry looking down at us. We don't want to fight you, Barry.
Well, that's funny, because I do want to fight you.
Barry swung his arm and smacked Patrick. No, stop it.
As soon as you give me the totem.
What? The lion's tooth necklace? It doesn't exist. You know that.
No, Zozo. The totem of invisibility that you got.
What? How did you find out about that?
I have friends on the inside.
All of a sudden, Patrick got up and walked over to Barry. No, Patrick, you're working for him? Why?
I had to, Zozo. After our base was attacked the first time, Barry told me to keep my eye on you. He threatened to hurt you if I didn't help him. The hunter wanted more animals, and they told me to gather them all in a safe place so they could collect them later.
How have you even been talking?
I've been sneaking out at night. I told them about the totem a few days ago. The lions thought they had left the door open, but it was me. It's all my fault. Neville is gone.
Patrick hung his head down low. He looked so sad. Barry hit Patrick again.
Enough, you. Now, Zozo, give me what I want, and maybe I won't hurt Patrick again.
I don't have the totem with me.
What? Why didn't you bring it?
I thought it'd be safer at the base. Why do you need it anyway, Barry?
Why do you think? The hunter will be able to turn invisible and trap any animal he pleases, and I'll be his right-hand man, or baboon, king of the monkeys.
It won't even work for you, Barry. It only works for the pure of heart. I had to earn it.
So you say. I think you just think you're better than me.
He hit Patrick again. Stop it. I'll take you to our base.
That's just what I wanted to hear. Move it.
On day 75 to 78, we slowly traveled back to the base. Patrick and I were bound and dragged behind the other baboons. I wondered why they even agreed to help Barry. I tried to talk to one of them. Psst, hey, we can get you out of here and you can live with us. You'll be safe there. The monkey looked at me sadly.
We'll never be safe, not with the hunter and Barry around. It isn't the worst, actually. The hunter gives us food and a place to sleep, but we are basically his servants. We can't leave because they'll just find us again.
I felt really bad for the monkey, but we couldn't give up now. We can defeat them. If you help us escape, we can all work together. The monkey thought about it for a second, but then Barry started yelling.
Hey, no talking to the prisoners.
He hit the sad monkey, who immediately ran up ahead, pulling me along. Well, at least I tried. We soon stopped at a water pond to rest. I walked over to Patrick. He wouldn't even look at me. Patrick, I know why you did all of this, and I don't hate you. He looked at me.
Really?
Yeah, you were just trying to protect me, but I'm not giving up. We will defeat Barry and the hunter if it's the last thing I do. Patrick looked back down at his feet and sighed.
I don't know, Zozo. We're all kind of in a sticky situation.
I think maybe we can get the baboons on our side. All of a sudden, Barry hit me.
No talking, prisoner. Keep moving.
I tried to formulate a plan the rest of the way. At this point, we just had to hope for a miracle. On day 79 to 84, we were getting closer to the base. Suddenly, Barry stopped.
Bring Zozo forward.
The sad baboon brought me closer to Barry, still keeping me bound.
Zozo, you will go in and retrieve the totem. You will then tell all the animals to gather outside for a meeting. You won't tell them about us, or I will destroy Patrick.
I'll do it. Just don't hurt him again. I made my way to the base and went inside. A few animals greeted me and I quickly said hello, then walked away. I went to my house and opened the safe. The totem was still inside. I grabbed it and went back to the middle of the base. Everyone, I need your attention. Patrick and I have an important announcement to make, but we need you to come outside to see. The animals all gathered together and we started to go outside. I felt so bad, but I hoped that maybe we could defeat the baboons and Barry together. As we walked out, I didn't see anyone. Where did they go? Then the baboons and Barry jumped down from the trees. They ambushed us and my friends started to panic.
Zozo!
It's okay, I'll handle this. I was just about to attack one of the baboons when all of a sudden they surrounded Barry.
Wait, what? What are you doing, you fools? Capture them!
Stay down!
It was the baboon that I had talked to. I guess he had gotten the other baboons to agree to fight. Hey, you're helping us.
We want our freedom back, and you seem like a capable guy. We'll help you.
Perfect. Wait, where's Patrick? I heard Barry laugh.
It's too late for your friend, Zozo. He's gone.
No! I ran further into the trees. I looked around and I finally found Patrick. He was sitting up against a rock. He didn't look good at all.
Hey, buddy, did we win?
This one, yeah, but we still need you for another fight. Patrick laughed weakly.
I'll try my hardest, but I'll need some help.
Of course. I helped him up and let him ride on my back as we slowly made our way back to the base. We got back to the clearing, but we didn't see Barry anywhere. Where's Barry? The animals all looked at each other.
I thought you were watching him.
Me? I don't even know who that guy is.
The animals all grumbled and pointed at each other. I shook my head. It doesn't matter. He's gone now.
Wait, look!
Barry had gone into our base. On days 85 to 89, I chased after Barry. He had some flint and steel and was going to light our base on fire. Barry, stop! This is crazy!
You can't stop me, Zozo. I'm going to be king of the monkeys if it's the last thing I do.
Strange. That's what I was thinking earlier, but about my friends. Barry, stop. It isn't too late for you to change. Why would you want to be king of the monkeys when you can be a friend to all animals?
You sound like a hippie.
What's a hippie?
Never mind. I'm done talking.
Barry set the side of the ostrich enclosure on fire when all of a sudden a big splash of water rained down on him, extinguishing the fire. I looked up and saw the water had come from the trunk of the Neville statue.
We added a water feature while you were gone.
One of the lions was pressing a button on the side of the wall. What absolutely perfect timing. I walked towards Barry. This is your last chance, Barry. Come join us or I'll have to defeat you. He looked so angry.
No, I will be king of the monkeys. I will.
All of a sudden, he slumped down and started to cry. I stood there, shocked.
I don't want to be king of the monkeys. Honestly, I just wanted some friends.
Well, to be fair, you have a weird way of showing it. I still didn't trust him completely, but I helped him up. It's okay, Barry. You have a home here. On days 90 to 94, Barry moved back in. Some of the animals weren't too happy about it, but he tried his hardest to make it up to them. He made some cool improvements to people's houses, the base, and even helped Patrick. He seemed to really feel bad about what he had done,
but he was making it better. Later, he came up to me.
Zozo, I need to tell you something about the hunter's base.
Okay, what is it?
I know a secret way I can sneak into his base around the side.
Oh, awesome! So you can open the door.
It's not that simple. The controls for the gate are in his private room.
Ah, I see. I thought for a moment. You need to go back and pretend to still work with him. You need to betray him now.
What if he catches me while I'm trying to do this?
He won't. I'll be sure to protect you.
Okay, I trust you, Zozo.
On days 95 to 97, we all made our preparations. We forged armor and swords for everyone, just in case. No, Zozo, I'm too weak still. I need to stay here. But Patrick, I need you. We've come this far together, and I need you there with me.
He can ride on my back.
One of the lions bowed to Patrick.
I shall carry you, and I will promise your safety, good friend.
Patrick agreed. I'm proud of all of you. Today, we are going to rescue our families and our friends. The savannah will be free again. Everyone cheered, and we headed out to the hunter's base. On day 98, we arrived at the hunter's base. It looked the same as usual, which was good. Barry came up to me. All right, Barry, this is your cue. He looked nervous. It'll be fine. You remember the signal, right? He nodded.
Thanks, Zozo. You're a good friend.
He headed toward the side of the base and disappeared around the corner. We waited a few minutes, and then we heard a loud monkey call. That was our signal to go. Then we saw the front gate start to open. Good job, Barry. We charged through the front gate and into the courtyard. As we started looking around, I even saw my parents.
Zozo!
Mom, Dad, we're here to rescue you. My friend started working on getting the cages open while I headed upstairs. On day 99, I found the lair of the hunter. He had all sorts of animal pelts all over the place, and even more guns. Sheesh, this place gave me the creeps.
I knew we would meet again, young zebra.
I turned around, ready to attack. The hunter was there, but he was holding Barry hostage. Give me my friend back, Hunter.
Oh, you mean this traitor? I don't think so. I think instead I'll just add him to my collection.
He waved his gun around the room full of pelts. No! I activated the totem and disappeared. I knocked the hunter away from Barry and told him to run. Then I charged the hunter. He blindly shot around the room, but he had no idea where I was. Barry wasn't so lucky though, and got hit as he made his escape.
That's a cheap move, zebra. Disappearing so I can't see ya.
Says the guy who captures animals and then enslaves them. He got a few lucky shots in, but I was able to deliver the final blow. I unequipped the totem and ran over to Barry. He had been hit and he looked pretty bad. Oh no, Barry, I'm so sorry. I promised I would keep you safe.
It's okay, Zozo. I did what I needed to do. Thanks for being my friend.
Barry put his head down and was gone. He had made many mistakes, but in the end, chose to do the right thing. On day 100, I felt a surge of power, and I leveled up into a large adult zebra. I was stronger than ever, and knew that from now on, I could protect all of the animals in the savannah. My friends had figured out how to open the cage doors, freeing all of the animals from the hunter's base. I was finally able to talk to my parents. It was a beautiful reunion. We were all free at last. If you want to see what I'll do next, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thanks for watching. On day 1, I spawned in as a police officer. Well, I was actually just a rookie, and I was pretty small too. It's okay, I'll move up in no time. But where are all my other cop friends? Hello, is my partner around here? I was all alone, so I checked out my gear and realized I already had some handcuffs. Cool! Just then, I noticed some bandits nearby. They were around a cage full of citizens. I approached them, but before I knew it, they were attacking me. Hey, that's no way to treat an officer. What is going on here? Why is there so much crime? It's like the criminals are in control. I wanted to help the citizens, but I only had 5 hearts, and they were running low, fast. I hurried and ran away. I didn't feel good doing it, but I really needed to heal up before I could help anybody else. I found a small cave and made camp for the night. As I went to sleep, I wondered again where all the other cops were, and why it seemed like all the criminals had taken over. On day 2, I woke up and got right down to business. If there were no other cops, then I'd have to take care of things myself. I chopped down some trees and gathered some wood to make a crafting table. With that, I was able to make a wooden sword, pickaxe, shovel, and some other simple tools. These aren't the best, but they will do for now. I went out exploring and found a small village. I looked around, but everyone seemed to be gone. I wonder where everyone went. Just then, I heard some noise from behind a fence. It was a teenage girl. Hey, it's okay, I can help. She looked a little frightened, but she eventually came out of her hiding place. What happened?
There were some bandits that attacked our village. They took everyone captive, including my family.
I think I saw them earlier. I'm so sorry. I'll do what I can to get your family back. She seemed happy to hear that.
I'm Izzy.
I'm Zozo. Hey, we should find a safe place to go. If I build us a safe house, would you want to stay there? She happily agreed. Before we left, we went through the houses to gather some supplies. I found some leather, coal, and some food. I also harvested what was left of the crops so we could make ourselves a garden. On day 3, Izzy and I started off into the forest. I found a section of land we liked and decided to build a base there. We started building and made ourselves some simple houses. Then I started a little garden with the seeds I had collected.
Thanks, Zozo. You're a good cop.
It is my job to serve and protect.
Just then, a bunch of rats came out from behind some trees. Oh, gross, get away! I was sure glad I had my new sword, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to defeat them. After I took out the last rat, I felt a surge of power and I leveled up. Cool, I'm an actual officer now. I had a shiny new baton and everything. I even gained a few more hearts. On days 4 to 5, I went out to gather some more materials. I was able to mine some cobblestone to make some new tools. On my way back to the base, I saw some bandits nearby. They looked like the ones I had seen earlier, but they didn't have a cage this time. There were only a few of them, so I knew I could take them out. I charged at them and attacked with my baton. I managed to get some hits in, but I finally defeated them all. Nice! I noticed that one had dropped something, so I picked it up. It was a note that told the bandits where to go to capture more people. It was signed by someone named Jenkins. That must be who they are working for. I'll have to find out some more information about him later. I returned to the base and greeted Izzy. She seemed really happy to be in a safe place. Hopefully we could help others find refuge here too. On day 6 to 8, I crafted some new stuff from the supplies I had gathered. I made a furnace and then made a tunic and some boots, using the leather I had looted from the village. Yeah, I'm ready to take on anything now. Just then, I heard Izzy screaming outside. I rushed out and followed her voice. I found her by the waterside being attacked by some spiders. Get back, you nasties! With my baton, I was easily able to defeat all of them.
Thanks, Zozo.
No problem, just be careful in the future.
Will do. Hey, I have something for you.
Izzy threw me some flowers she had picked.
I picked these for you. I thought they could brighten up the base a little bit.
For sure. We went back to the base, and I went right ahead and planted some of the flowers. Izzy was right, it did give a little life to the place. Just don't go wandering off again. I can't protect you if you're too far away. She nodded. Here, I'll make you a sword, just in case. I went over to my crafting table and made Izzy a simple sword and some other tools.
Thanks, these are great.
She went outside to pick some flowers, this time closer to the base. She's a funny one. I just hope she doesn't get into trouble again. On days 9 to 10, I decided to go out and search for some new materials. And I wanted more information about Jenkins. I'm sure somebody knew something. I found another village that seemed abandoned. I started to gather up some crops when I heard a scream. I ran around the corner to see some bandits capturing people. I also noted one huge buff guy in a suit. That seems strange. I charged toward the bandits and took out a few. Then the man in the suit laughed. I charged at him, but he sidestepped me. He drew a large sword that seemed to glow red. He smacked me once and nearly took me out. I had to hide so he wouldn't destroy me. The bandits and the man left, taking the villagers with them. I felt so angry that I couldn't do anything. Then I noticed one of the bandits on the ground. I had hit him, but he was still alive. He was trying to crawl away. Hey, I hurried and handcuffed him. He struggled, but he was frozen in place. Where are you taking the people you're capturing? The bandit threw a potato at me. I was about to make my final swing with my baton when he started screaming.
Okay, I'll talk.
That's what I like to hear.
We work for Jenkins, the mob boss. We were taking the prisoners back to his compound.
Why is he capturing people?
He captures basically everyone he doesn't like. Only the lucky ones get to be his bandits.
Sure, lucky.
I was captured a long time ago, but Jenkins liked me, so now I work for him.
Why didn't you help people instead of capturing them?
Jenkins is too powerful. Anyone who tries to fight him is always beaten.
I could see why. That sword he had was different somehow. Really powerful too. But he couldn't keep taking people away. It wasn't right. I'm going to defeat him. The bandits seemed intrigued.
You really think you can take him on?
I wasn't entirely sure, but I knew somebody had to try. It's the right thing to do. The bandits seemed even more intrigued.
Can I join you?
I was a little suspicious of him, but I decided to let him come with me. If anything, he could give me some valuable information.
I'm Lionel.
I'm Officer Zozo. Nice to meet you. On days 11 through 12, I took Lionel's cuffs off and we headed back to the base. We started to work on a small house for him. He seemed really happy.
I haven't had my own house in so long. Jenkins just keeps us all in small bunks together. Thanks, Zozo.
Of course. Lionel actually seemed like a good guy. Maybe we would be friends after all. I introduced him to Izzy, and she seemed a little suspicious of him too. After a while though, she warmed up to him, especially after he offered to help her pick flowers. I decided the base was in good hands, so I went back to the cave to gather some more materials. As I went deeper, I noticed some skeletons were guarding a big deposit of iron. I could really use that. I charged toward the iron, but the skeletons had bows and arrows. Whoa, I didn't notice that. They all shot at me and depleted almost all of my health. I can't do this, I'm gonna die. I ran off and tried to heal for a minute. Oh, that was intense. I need some better weapons, but that iron is what I need to make a better sword. I went down a different tunnel and found a different iron deposit. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough to craft a new sword. Perfect. I creeped back down the tunnel and charged the skeletons again. It was tricky, but I was finally able to defeat them all. They even dropped some nice bows, which I promptly looted. Thank goodness. I mined all the iron and took it back home with me. I was able to make some more tools and even some armor. Yeah, this is amazing. I then called it a day. On days 13 to 15, I woke up to Lionel knocking on my door. Hey Lionel, what's up?
Zozo, I need to tell you something about Jenkins.
We sat down.
I really want to be optimistic, but Jenkins is really powerful.
I know, Lionel, but I am getting stronger.
But you don't understand, Zozo. Jenkins isn't just a normal guy. He once was, but when he was younger, he was hungry for power. His father was the mob boss, but Jenkins wanted to be in charge. He made a blood oath to some supernatural force, and it gave him his red blinking sword. He destroyed his father as a sacrifice. Jenkins gained power over the people, but the sword gained power over him. It's basically alive and it feeds on people. That's why Jenkins keeps capturing people, to feed the sword and keep his power.
This was a lot to take in. I thought it was just a blinking sword. This was something I wasn't sure I could handle.
I wanted to tell you so you know what you're going up against.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Lionel left and I sat there for a while. I was way in over my head. On days 16 to 19, I woke up to Lionel yelling my name. I opened the door. What is it, Lionel?
It's Izzy. She's missing. But here, there's a note and a map.
I took the note and read it. Izzy had gone outside and been captured by some villagers. They told me that if I wanted her back, I would need to pay them in gold. They even drew us a little map to where we needed to go.
We don't have any gold.
It doesn't matter. We need to go get her. Come on, let's go. We headed out in the direction the map said and reached a desert. Soon, we made it to a small village. It looked like it was in ruins. Hello, we are here to get our friend back. We turned the corner and saw Izzy. She was in a cage and surrounded by a few villagers. One villager with a wooden crown and sword came forward.
Give us the gold and we won't hurt you.
We don't have any gold. Give us our friend.
No, if you don't give me my gold, then I'll take it from you.
The villager lunged and attacked me. He was a good fighter, but I was better. After just a minute, I managed to defeat him. I felt another surge of power, and I leveled up into a sergeant. Nice! Izzy ran towards us and cried happily.
Thanks for saving me. I won't wander outside at night ever again.
A young man stepped forward. Are you really going to save us from Jenkins? That's what Izzy told us. He has a powerful sword that I'm not sure I can go up against. I know it could help. It's a legendary sword, dropped by a knight in a battle long ago. It's been lost somewhere in the desert. That sparked a little hope in me. Maybe I could defeat Jenkins after all. Do you want to come live in our base? It'll be safer there. A few villagers wanted to stay in their homes, but the young man agreed. I'm Nick. Nice to meet you, Nick. I'm Sergeant Zozo. We gathered some supplies and then took off towards the base. On days 20 to 22, we arrived back at the base, but it was on fire. There were some zombies on fire too. What the heck? We hurried and defeated them and then put the fire out in the base. It looks like we have some work to do. Nick and Lionel helped me while Izzy went back in her house to rest. She had had a long day getting kidnapped and all. She deserved to sleep. We made some new improvements to the base, including a better fence, and started building a house for Nick. I was happy to have him around and looked forward to learning more about the sword he was talking about.
Hey Zozo, we should build a statue to let people know this is a safe place from Jenkins, and that you're gonna kick his bum.
That's a good idea, Lionel. We chatted about the statue with Nick and decided on something simple. Can you guess what it is? Also, hurry and hit subscribe so you can follow me on more adventures. On days 23 to 26, I was gathering some crops from our garden when a bunch of bees started attacking the base. Where did you come from? Everyone got their weapons and we managed to fight them off. As I hit the last one, it dropped something. I picked it up and it was some golden apples. Wow, these look amazing. I should probably save them for later though. I went up to chat with Lionel. Hey, I think it would be really helpful if we scouted Jenkins' base, just to see what we were up against.
I think that's a great idea. We just need to be careful. There are guards literally everywhere.
Nick and Izzy decided to stay behind and work on the statue while we headed out to the compound. It was a little bit of a journey, but when we arrived, I could see what Lionel meant. It was huge, and there were guards all over the place. Wow, you weren't kidding.
I know that there is a guard entrance in the back, but only the higher-ranking guards or bandits can open it. And Jenkins, of course.
Just then, we saw a bandit running towards us. We started to run away and thought we had lost him, when suddenly he popped out from behind a tree.
Lionel, brother, I knew that was you.
Luke?
I heard you were dead, but when I saw you from the tower, I knew I had to come and get you.
Luke drew his sword and went to attack me.
No, don't! This is my friend Zozo. He's going to help us defeat Jenkins.
Luke snorted.
Yeah, right.
He will. He's going to find the legendary sword of the night and defeat him.
Luke seemed skeptical. I know it might seem impossible, but I can do it. I'll free everyone, and you won't have to be a slave anymore. Luke looked convinced enough.
Okay, I'm in. I don't like the food there anyway.
Luke chatted with us about what had happened recently with Jenkins. He had been raiding more and more villages lately, hungry for power. We then made our way back to the base. Once we got back to the base, we cleared out an area and made a house for Luke as well. Even though him and Lionel were brothers, they wanted their own places. I didn't blame them. We also made some improvements to the base, including some towers and a higher fence.
Wow, this is actually pretty rad, Sarge.
Luke saluted me incorrectly. He was an odd one, but I was glad to be helping people get away from Jenkins. On days 27 to 31, I went to to talk to Nick about the legendary sword. He was picking some flowers. Are those for Izzy? He seemed to blush a little bit.
Maybe.
Her favorite are the blue ones.
Hey, thanks.
He picked up some blue flowers while we chatted. So, the sword.
Yeah, so all I know is that it's buried somewhere deep in the desert. It's super powerful.
It sounded like a very interesting weapon. Junkins needed to be stopped, and this seemed like the only way to do it. Let's go find that sword.
All right.
We stopped at the base so that Nick could give his flowers to Izzy. She seemed really happy about them and wished us good luck. We gathered some supplies and then headed out into the desert. It was so big and I had no idea where to start. Any idea where it could be?
Just somewhere in the desert.
We started digging around, looking for some significant formations. It was honestly just a lot of sand. Then out of nowhere, a bunch of snakes came slithering up to us. Nope, none of that. I drew my sword and started fighting them off, but there were too many, and they started biting me. We need to go, Nick. We ran away and made our way back to the base. We felt discouraged, but I would find the sword. I just knew it. On days 32 to 35, we traveled back to the base. On the way there, we ran into a traveling merchant.
Hello! Lots of items for sale. Anything you could want, really. Name your price.
We aren't in need of items, but maybe you have some information. What do you know about the legendary sword that was lost in the desert? The merchant rifled through some items, looking for paper.
Yes, here it is. I once encountered a man who said it was buried in the furthest reaches of the desert, never to be found again.
Never?
Never!
He raised his arms dramatically and waved them around. I looked at Nick. This guy was a little bit wacky. Probably not the best source for information. Well, thanks. We'll be going now.
Not on my watch.
I turned around to see Jenkins with some of his guards. The merchant screamed and hid behind his camel.
I've met you before. You're that annoying little rookie I swatted back in the village.
It's Sergeant Zozo to you.
I drew my baton and attacked his guards.
I easily took a few of them out, but then I saw Jenkins use his blinking red sword. I was in trouble now. He smacked me and I felt my health start to drop. I still wasn't even close to being strong enough to defeat him. Just then, I looked in the merchant's shulker and saw some TNT. Yes. Take this, Jenkins! I placed the TNT and blew up the sand around us. Come on, Nick, we gotta go!
Wait for me!
The merchant sprinted behind us, cradling an armful of items. We all ran off towards the base, leaving Jenkins in a sandy mess. On days 36 to 39, we all arrived at the base safely. The merchant looked exhausted.
Thank you for saving me. Jenkins would have had my head for sure.
Of course, we are glad to have found another friend with us.
I'm Caleb. Please, let me repay you for your kindness.
The merchant handed me a rock he was holding. Thanks.
It's my favorite rock. Take good care of it.
I pocketed the rock, thinking how odd this man was. But then we decided to help Caleb set up a little shop in the base so he could continue to sell his wares, whatever they may be.
I lost most of my items in the commotion, but this will do for now.
Anything else you need?
Actually, if you could gather some sand for me, I could make some glass bottles to store more items.
I decided it wasn't too much of a hassle, so I went to the desert and gathered some sand for Caleb. When I came back, he was very grateful.
Ah, yes, perfect. This will definitely help.
I then decided to do some work on the statue for a little while. It was looking pretty good, but it wasn't done quite yet. On days 40 to 43, I went out to mine some more materials to make some upgrades to the base. On my way there, I passed by a small group of travelers. They looked like farmers of some sort, but they must have thought I was working with Jenkins because they yelled and tried to run away when they saw me. Wait, I won't hurt you. I'm a police officer. They stopped running and approached me.
Oh, a young hero. Maybe you can help us.
Sure, what is it?
All of our animals were stolen by some hooligans in the forest. If you could go get them back for us, we'd be so grateful.
It seemed like an easy enough task. Sure, do you know where they are?
Yes, they live in an outpost next to the foot of the mountains. We don't dare get close because they have better weapons than us.
I'll help you. In the meantime, you can stay at my base. I pointed them in the right direction and they headed that way. I went towards the mountain they mentioned. And before long, I saw the outpost. There were a bunch of animals all shoved into a pen nearby.
Looky here, boys. We've got a live one.
I drew my sword and charged the pillagers. There weren't many of them, and their weapons were very simple. I picked off a few of them easily, but their leader seemed a little more skilled. We exchanged a few more blows, but after a minute, I defeated him. Alright guys, let's get you back to your owners. I grabbed some leads from the house and wrangled up the animals. We were able to make it back to the base safely. When we got there, the farmers were overjoyed.
Thank you, Zozo. Please feel free to use as much wool and milk as you'd like.
Thanks. It'd be really good to have some more food sources, and the farmer seemed more than happy to stay with us. On days 44 to 49, I journeyed back to the desert where I'd gathered the sand for Caleb. I figured there could be some other useful materials nearby. When I got there, I noticed there was a sea turtle being attacked by a squid. Hey, you let him go! I jumped in and smacked the squid. He tried to maneuver back deeper into the water, but I was too fast. Before I knew it, the squid was defeated.
Thank you, sir. You are my hero.
The sea turtle nodded in appreciation. Of course, I am here to serve and protect everyone.
That's so good to hear. It's been so long since we've had a hero in this land. I remember when that knight promised to protect everyone, but he went bad.
This was new information. Bad how?
Do you not know the story?
Can't say that I do.
The knight was named Polybius. He protected the king and his daughter, but he realized there were too many enemies, and he was only one man. So he prayed to a deity, begging for their help to protect his friends. They granted him the sword, and he named it Brink.
Brink?
Because everything was on the brink of destruction.
Okay, continue.
So he was gifted Brink and was told that it would always be his if his goals remained true and right to the kingdom. Time went on, and he was able to vanquish all of the king's enemies. But after a while, Polybius became prideful and decided he wanted to show everyone how powerful he was. He challenged a man to a duel of strength, and he was defeated. The sword fell to the ground, but nobody was able to pick it up. Over time, the ground changed and it was buried within the earth.
So how would someone pick it up?
If your goals are true to the kingdom, or I guess now just the land, then you should be able to pick it up.
This was good information to have. Even if I did find the sword, would I be worthy enough to retrieve it? Thank you. You've been a lot of help.
Of course. Thank you.
And with that, the turtle swam off. I gathered some more materials while I thought about what he said. I really hope I can get that sword. It's our only option at this point. On days 50 to 53, I decided to go deeper into the desert to see if I could get any clues as to where the sword might be. While out looking around, I happened upon the group of snakes again. Hey, get out of my way! I had grown stronger since the last time I saw these danger noodles, so I was able to defeat them easily. If only I could defeat Jenkins that easily.
Did you say Jenkins?
I flipped around and saw an old backpacker standing nearby. Yeah, I did.
Good for nothing, scoundrel.
The man spit into the sand.
If you want to defeat him, you better get that sword I've heard so much about.
I'm trying to, I just have no idea where to find it. The backpacker pulled out a paper with a drawing on it. It looked like a hand reaching up.
I was told that the sword is buried deep underneath this rock formation. I haven't seen it in my travels, but maybe you'll find it.
Wow, thanks, this helps a lot.
Of course, you might want this too.
He handed me a bunch of diamonds. I can't take these away from you.
Sure you can. Just promise when you defeat Jenkins, you tell everyone how much I helped you.
I will, sir.
It's good old Tim.
Tim.
No, good old Tim. The whole thing.
Oh, right. Thanks, good old Tim. He waved goodbye and headed off. What an interesting dude. On days 54 to 57, I went back to the base to make some new armor out of the diamonds I had gotten. Wow, this is incredible. I also made some new tools so that I could do some renovations to the base. I added some lanterns, expanded the garden, and made sure everything was well lit. Everything was looking great. And then decided it was too late to do anything else and went to sleep. In the morning, I heard a familiar voice coming from outside.
Zozo, I need your assistance, if you please.
Caleb was calling to me from his shop. I headed over to chat with him. Hey, Caleb, what else do you need?
Those bottles were great, but now I need a few more things in order for my shop to really thrive.
Okay, what do you need?
Melons.
Melons?
Yes, melons. Now off with you.
I shrugged my shoulders. Caleb was odd, but I wanted him to be happy. It seemed like an easy enough task. I went exploring for a little bit in the forest before I happened upon some melons. Easy enough. I harvested the melons, gathered some of the seeds, and headed back to the base. I brought them back to Caleb.
Perfect.
He started mixing some stuff together in the back and then came out a few minutes later with the bottle.
Here you are, Sergeant.
I looked, and it was a potion of healing. Oh wow, thanks Caleb. This will really come in handy.
Of course. Anything for you, good sir.
He gave me a half bow with an awkward salute. It was good enough. On days 58 to 62, we worked on the statue for a little while. It was starting to look almost as I had intended. So how was your first guess? Do you think you know what it is still? I was standing on the top when I saw the base being attacked down below. Hey, those look like some of Jenkins' bandits. I hurried and ran down to fight them off. Get out of our home, you good-for-nothing scoundrels. I was starting to sound a little bit like good old Tim. I was able to fight almost all of them off. A few escaped, but I wasn't too worried about them. I was able to head back to my house when I heard Izzy yelling for me.
Zozo, come quick, it's Lionel.
I ran to Lionel's house and found him hunched over on the floor. He looked really bad. Hey buddy, let's get you some help.
No, it's too late for me, Zozo. Just go get Luke for me.
Luke? Is he in his house?
No, he's the one who stabbed me. I overheard him talking to the bandits. He was in league with them all along. Jenkins wants Brink for himself so that nobody can defeat him. Apparently, they just found out about an old lady who knows exactly where to find the sword.
I couldn't believe it. Luke seemed like an okay guy. How could anyone betray their brother like that? Don't worry, Lionel. I'll get him.
Hurry, Zozo. He already left out of the back door.
Lionel took in one last breath, and then he died. I was so angry, but I didn't have time for that right now. I needed to go after Luke and find the sword before he could. On days 63 to 66, I followed some tracks leading into a woodland area. They must have been Luke's and the other bandits that got away. I tracked them for a while before coming to a small rundown cottage. The door was broken and I heard some yelling. I ran inside, drawing my sword. The two bandits were rummaging around, stealing from an old lady. She was sitting helpless in a chair. Hey, you get out of here! I quickly picked off the bandits and gave the old lady back her things.
Thank you, young man. I owe you my life. knife?
All I need is some information, ma'am, and apparently you have it. She nodded like she understood.
The sword is under a rock formation, shaped like a hand reaching toward the sky. It is said that is how the knight, Plebus, died.
I gave her the picture that good old Tim gave me. She looked at it.
That's the one. I saw it a long time ago when I was traveling through the far east side of the desert.
She drew me a simple map that led to its location. It seemed to point into the desert.
Here you go, young man. I fear that the other young man called Luke will find it before you do. So hurry.
Will do. Thank you. I took the map and ran as fast as I could toward the line the old lady had drawn. I hoped that Luke hadn't found it, but I did hope to find him. I had a score to settle. On days 67 to 70, I arrived at the rock formation. I noticed that more bandits were there, and I saw Luke with them. They were gathered around a cart and a tunnel someone had dug. I charged at them all. How dare you hurt my friends! I swung and slashed and managed to defeat all of them, which left Luke and I alone.
Just give up, Zozo. You've lost.
I yelled in anger and charged at Luke. Lionel was your brother. How could you have betrayed him like that?
He was garbage, just like you. I'm gonna enjoy throwing you out as well.
He charged again and he smacked me really hard. I didn't realize how close I was to the opening of the tunnel. I fell down and nearly died. Luke sneered at me from above, then took off running. Coward! I looked around and noticed that the tunnel extended further into the ground. I hoped that I would find what I was looking for down there. On day 71 to 74, I walked down the tunnel for a little while before entering a large cavern. There seemed to be something in the middle of the room. I went closer to examine it and realized they had dug out all the dirt surrounding the sword. They must have taken all of it with them. They had the sword, but obviously they couldn't wield it. Maybe I did have a chance, but I was really discouraged. If Jenkins had the sword in his compound, how was I supposed to beat him? I looked around to see if I could find anything else of value. There were a few deposits of coal, but nothing more. I climbed back up through the tunnel and into the desert. It was going to be a long and painful journey home. On day 75 to 78, I headed back to the base, my head hanging low. Nick ran toward me.
So did you get Luke? Where's the sword?
Luke escaped. They took the sword, too. I didn't really feel like talking. I honestly just felt really sad.
Zozo, I have something for you, my friend.
Caleb motioned me over. I'm not really in the mood, Caleb.
Trust me, you'll like this.
He pulled out something from underneath his counter.
Since you really liked the TNT from last time, I decided to make you some more.
He gave me a whole stash of it. It didn't really cheer me up since I already had loads from before, but I figured it could be useful later. Thanks, Caleb. I started toward my house, but then decided to go into Luke's instead. Maybe he left something of use behind.
As I entered, I heard some noise. I turned around as Luke stepped into the room.
How did you get in here?
Like I would tell you.
Luke unsheathed his sword and we fought again. This time, I wasn't going to let him escape. We exchanged blows, but I was way stronger than him. After just a few more hits, I was able to defeat him. That's for Lionel. Just then, I noticed that Luke had dropped some stuff. It looked like a key and a map. This key must be to the back door of the compound. All of a sudden, I felt power coursing through my veins, and I leveled up into a lieutenant. I even grew a mustache and got some cool new shades. Wow, look at me! I looked at the map. It led to a section of tundra. This must be where they were taking the sword to. Luke must have come back here to get some of his stuff before heading there. But how did he get in? I looked around and found a secret door leading down into the ground. I followed it and it opened up outside the base, hidden behind some bushes. That explains it. I went back and filled the tunnel up, making sure nobody else could get inside. On day 79 to 84, I followed the map to the tundra. It was freezing and I didn't really like it that much, but I passed some different animals, so that was cool. I finally arrived, the freezing air whipping through my hair and mustache. It's freezing. I decided to make myself a little igloo to keep myself warm. I knew Jenkins and his bandits were coming to the tundra. I just didn't know exactly where they would be. I guess the location on the map was incorrect? I went back outside to look around, but then I saw someone running toward me. I hurried to draw my sword, but the person stopped before they could reach me.
Wait, you're not Jenkins.
No, I'm not. Who are you?
I'm Meg. I've been following Jenkins and his crew for a while now. I'm trying to defeat him and save my family.
I'm trying to defeat him too. He's captured my friends and destroyed people that I love.
I'm sorry. Maybe we can work together.
Sounds good to me. How are you going to defeat him? She seemed uneasy.
Honestly, I wasn't exactly sure. I know that I'm a good fighter, but he is really powerful.
So you've been tracking him. Do you know where he is exactly? Meg shook her head.
I followed them, but there was a large snowstorm that came through. I lost my way, so I've been wandering around for a bit.
I invited her inside to get warm. I showed her the map and she got really excited.
Hey, there's an abandoned mine shaft around here.
She took out a pencil and drew a circle on the map.
I'll bet that's where they're headed.
Perfect, let's go! We gathered in all the warmth we could, and then we headed out to the mine shaft. On days 85 to 89, Meg and I went tromping through the snow to the abandoned mine shaft. It was so cold and snowy. We had been walking for a long time when we realized we were back at the igloo. What? How?
We must have gotten turned around in the snowstorm.
This was so frustrating.
You're wasting your time. Jenkins is long gone.
I flipped around and saw good old Tim. Hey, what are you doing here?
Ice fishing.
He didn't have a fishing pole though, so I was really confused. Okay, did you see Jenkins?
Yes, sir. Came around with a cart and headed down the mine shaft. He left, though. Still had the cart with him, so whatever it was didn't work. Or did. I don't know.
He shrugged nonchalantly. He must have taken the sword back to his compound. It all felt like a big waste of time. Good old Tim must have noticed I looked a little down because he put his hand on my shoulder.
It's okay, Lieutenant. Here, this'll cheer you up.
He handed me some ingots, which I realized were netherite.
That'll make you a good and proper sword, Lieutenant. Now go save us.
Wow, thank you. Where do you keep finding all of these things?
My secret.
Good old Tim smiled and winked at me. I looked at Meg, who smiled at me, and when I looked back, good old Tim was gone. Whoa, where did he go? I was starting to think that maybe good old Tim was my guardian angel or something. Meg and I shrugged at each other and headed into the igloo for the night. It had been a long and cold couple of days, and we needed some sleep. On days 90 to 94, I invited Meg to come back to the base, and she happily agreed. We gathered some more food along the way, since we figured our friends would be hungry. Once we got there, I repaired my armor and used my smithing table to upgrade my diamond sword into a netherite sword. It was amazing! I swung it around to test it out. This isn't Brink, but it'll sure give Jenkins a run for his money. I also upgraded my armor into netherite. It was going to be tough to beat me. I went outside to show my friends. They got really excited and started cheering me on.
Yeah, Zozo!
You're our hero! Go beat Jenkins and get our land back!
I felt really strong and hopeful, but I knew there were a few things I needed to do before I could go infiltrate Jenkins' compound. On days 95 to 97, I woke up to the farmers I had helped calling out for me. I went outside and they gave me supplies to finish the statue as a thanks. Using everything they had given me, I got right to work. It took a little bit of time, but soon I had finished the statue. Wow, it looks amazing, guys! We did a great job.
No, thank you, Zozo. You've brought us all in and protected us. It's been a long time since anyone has had hope, but you've given it to us, so thank you.
I looked up at the statue of Brink. I knew that I didn't have the sword with me, but the statue gave me hope that I would find it again. I knew I could beat Jenkins. It was my destiny. On day 98, I went to say goodbye to my friends before heading out to the compound. Just then, Meg approached me from behind.
Zozo, I'd like to come with you. I want to fight alongside you and find my family.
You are more than welcome to come. We crafted Meg some better armor and weapons, and then we made one last trip around the base.
You take care of yourself, Lieutenant.
Will do, Nick. Take care of the base for us. If anyone else needs help, let them in.
For sure.
I talked to Caleb. He rummaged around and gave me and Meg another potion of healing.
Now go and be triumphant, young hero.
Thanks. We stopped at Izzy last. She gave me a beautiful arrangement of flowers.
Thank you for saving me, Zozo. Now go save everyone else.
Will do. I then left Izzy's house. If you want to support the last of our journey, be sure to subscribe. The more people we have, the stronger we can become. And with that, Meg and I headed out to the compound of Jenkins. On day 99, Meg and I arrived at the compound. We snuck to the back door and used the key Luke had dropped. It worked, and we snuck up through a tunnel into a large room. There were bandits everywhere. We decided to charge in and fight them. Meg and I fought our way through all of them easily, making our way to some stairs.
Zozo, I'm going to look for my family. You go find Jenkins.
Be safe. She went down the stairs and I went up further into the mansion. There were a few more bandits on the way, which I easily took out. I finally came to a large dark red room. It was incredibly creepy. At one end of the room, there was a lava lake with a pedestal. On top of it was a sword. That has to be Brink, but it's different than what I had imagined. I started towards it, but then felt something hit me backwards. It was Jenkins! He must have been hiding behind a pillar, waiting for me. His red sword blinked.
Young police officer, why won't you just stop bothering me?
I'm here to bring justice to those you have wronged. He laughed at me.
Sure. Do your worst, rookie.
I charged at him and our swords clashed. Then I noticed that my sword was not really effective at all. I needed to get Brink sooner rather than later.
Just give up. You're no match against me.
If that's so, then why couldn't you wield Brink? He yelled in anger.
It's just a silly, stubborn sword. I thought freezing it in the tundra mine would work, but it didn't. But it doesn't matter. I don't need a dinky little sword when I have this.
He swung his sword around, slicing at me. My health went down, but I hurried and drank a health potion. Thank goodness for those. I was able to maneuver around Jenkins and hit him, causing him to stumble. I knew this was my chance. I ran towards Brink, reaching towards the hilt. Jenkins ran after me, ready to swing.
No!
On day 100, Brink released from the pedestal into my hands. I felt an amazing surge of power, and I transformed into a bigger and stronger police officer. I was now the chief of police. I had robotic features, and the power from me stunned Jenkins for a second. Give up, Jenkins! He growled, and I attacked him. Our swords met, and his shattered into dust.
No!
He tried to run away, but I attacked. Jenkins was defeated in one single blow. I did it! I jumped for joy. I knew I would retrieve the sword and defeat Jenkins. We could all go home now. I hurried down the stairs and helped Meg release the prisoners. They all went back to their homes, finally at peace that the land was free of Jenkins. Meg and I made our way back to the base with her and Izzy's families. We all celebrated the victory, happy to know that everyone was safe.